Welcome everyone to tonight's show. I am James Baek, your host of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles, and today we finally have episode 100 coming out, and it is a very long and a very special one. This episode will consist of every single team that I've used for about 7 episodes of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. So every team that I used on a weekly basis will be featured in today's episode. We have 14 teams, so 14 battles for your viewing pleasure. Just sit back, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the show. As a disclaimer, the battles were recorded out of order, so you might notice some changes in rating, which is why rating wasn't shown. There were quite a few different times when I recorded based on when I had the team. I had to get a few different teams because I didn't have all the teams in my main card. So the teams and the ratings will seem a bit different and probably strange and out of place sometimes. Sometimes you'll see me in the 1600. Sometimes you'll see me in like the 1500. So that will be that's basically the explanation why, because I recorded every single battle at different times. I didn't record in order either. The only times that were recorded in order were the first battle and the last battle. So basically, yeah. Otherwise, I hope everyone enjoys today's episode. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright, it's time. The very first team that we used on VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. This is what we're kicking things off with for the 100th episode. We have Tapu Koko, Gyarados, Persian, Porygon 2, Marowak, and originally we had a Metagross when we first started out, but towards the end of this team when I used it, I liked Nihilego better, so we're kicking off with Nihilego. Our opponent is a Japanese player with Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Machamp, Tapu Lele, Porygon 2, and the Vikavolt. So, how do I want to handle this? Is it Scarf Garchomp? Like, that's the question. Like, if it's Scarf Garchomp, that's a bit annoying. But if it isn't, I'm in a pretty good spot here. Machamp is going to be an annoying Pokemon to deal with, that's for sure. I don't like Persian, unfortunately. It doesn't look like Persian will be able to make an appearance on the 100th episode. But I do like Porygon 2, because Porygon 2 is very solid against my opponent's team. So it's just Gyarados Marowak. My opponent actually doesn't have, like, a good way to handle that unless it's Discharge. Well, it could be Discharge on the Vikavolt. I think I do want to lead Gyarados Marowak though, with Porygon 2 and Nihilego in the back. I don't really like Tapu Koko as much. I don't think Tapu Koko does really that much against my opponent. Even though it can outspeed most of my opponent's Pokemon, I don't want to risk that Scarf on Garchomp. That could be very annoying. Porygon 2 is also a really big annoyance to the team, so gonna have to keep Marowak healthy and go for a Parasong or Toxic it with my own Porygon 2. So let's see how this is gonna work. Gonna lead Gyarados Marowak here. Very solid. Gets an Intimidate off right off the bat. Against my opponent's Tapu Koko Garchomp. Okay. I think I have to scout for Discharge, right? I think I had to scout for Discharge. I could also scout if it's Scarf Garchomp right here. If it's Scarf Garchomp, he just goes for Rock Slide. So let's see what my opponent's gonna do. I could see Rock Slide, Dazzling Gleam, or Tectonic Rage, Discharge. I could see a bunch of things. I'm double protecting because, oh, this guy's only 1425. But he does have a solid team, so I am just gonna double protect, and I'm gonna scout out because I don't want to risk anything that could cost me the game turn 1. So Sky Drop Gyarados and a Tectonic Rage coming up from the Garchomp. That's not going to do much thanks to that Intimidate, and we did protect, so it's only going to be doing about 25%. And yeah, Gyarados is pretty heavy, and I don't really understand the point of Sky Drop. Maybe to prevent me from going for... Okay, what my opponent was probably trying to do was Sky Drop, Tectonic Rage to Marowak, try to pick up the knockout, and then pick up the knockout Marowak so you could use electric type attacks. Okay, that Tectonic Rage actually did a lot though. As much as I love Marowak on the field, I can't really keep... I can't risk the Thunderbolt at all. Like, I can never risk the Thunderbolt. So I will just go for the Shadow Bone into Tapu Koko. I don't need chip damage on the Garchomp just yet, as Tapu Koko is going to withdraw, which is okay, and it's going to go into the Vikavolt. So Earthquake shouldn't be able to knock out my Marowak because it is at -1. Unless it gets a crit, of course. But I will be able to get the Dragon Dance up, and that Dragon Dance is just huge. Earthquake going to come out, targeting out my Marowak. And yeah, Marowak able to survive that quite nicely and get a Dragon Dance off. And we will get chip damage with the Shadow Bone. I could have went for the Flare Blitz, but I do want to keep Marowak around because of the fact that we can redirect those electric type attacks. Shadow Bone will go out into the Vikavolt. That's a solid amount. Waterfall should be able to pick up the KO from there. Or I could just go for Dragon Net. No, I can't resist Discharge on this thing. Waterfall to Vikavolt. And I guess just switch on to Porygon too, because I could always keep Marowak around. Just in case. I can keep Marowak around just to switch it into an electric type move for my opponent in the future, because my opponent does have Tapu Koko. We'll get a special attack boost with the Porygon 2 as we see the Protect from Vikavolt. Let's see what Garchomp's going to do. Maybe a Rock Tomb if it carries it. Rock Slide. Earthquake. Just going to be Earthquake once again. So, probably confirming that Garchomp does not carry a Rock type move or really doesn't want to mess around with this Marowak, going for the guarantee accuracy. That Earthquake did a lot for -1. It's a critical hit, that's why. Okay. And I will be able to go for a Waterfall and a Vikavolt pretty easily. Nope, my opponent doesn't have Intimidate, so no switching. And I can go for the Ice Beam into Garchomp because that will guarantee the knockdown on Garchomp. Since we already saw that it had Tectonic Rage, that means it can't carry an Assault Vest or Yachi Berry or Focus Sash to live in Ice Beam unless it's like max special defense. But by the way, it's been doing so much damage at -1, I don't think it's going to be a bulky variant. So should be able to pick up at least 1 KO or get a lot of damage off. Garchomp going to go for a Smart Protect here, as we will get the Waterfall off into that Vikavolt. So Vikavolt will go down this turn. Yep. So we do pick up a pretty nice position here. We're up 4-3. However, my Marowak is pretty weakened. And my Porygon 2 has taken some chip damage. Tapu Koko most likely going to be coming out here. Skydrop variants usually carry either the Guardian of Alola, Focus Sash, or AV. And Tapu Lele is actually going to be coming out. I wonder if it's Scarf. Well, Scarf Modest Psychic shouldn't knock out Gyarados in one hit, even in the terrain. So I'm actually going to go for my Hydro Vortex right here. Try to knock out this Tapu Lele and go for the Ice Beam into the Garchomp. Try to pick up a KO. I guess this could be bad if it's like Focus Sash Lele that carries Thunderbolt. That is kudos to my opponent, but I will at least be able to get an Ice Beam off into the Garchomp slot. Whether I either knock out Garchomp or do a lot of damage to Tapu Koko, both are pretty good in the position I'm currently in. So, and Nihilego is looking very good right now. As if I get the knockout on Garchomp, I'm pretty sure I am able to win the game, unless Tapu Lele Scarf outspeeds my Gyarados and gets a crit with Psychic. Or it could be Scarf Tapu Lele with Thunderbolt, I guess. Garchomp going to go for a double. Does get the double, actually. And it is Scarf Tapu Lele. Goes for the Psychic into Gyarados, but we should be able to survive that. Yes, we will. But gets a special defense drop. Doesn't really matter at this point because Gyarados is already at low HP. Hydro Vortex will come out and knock out the Tapu Lele. So if the Thunderbolt came out, that could have been very troublesome, but I didn't think my opponent, even if my opponent did have Thunderbolt, I don't think you risk the Thunderbolt when I do have Marowak as a potential switch in the back. So, Hydro Vortex will go off into Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele will be going down. Yep, Tapu Lele does go down. Excellent. And now it's Koko and Garchomp versus my 4 Pokemon that I still have remaining. So, pretty solid position. However, this could get tricky real fast. If it's something like Swords, well, even if it's Swords Dance Garchomp, I guess it's not really that much of a problem. Tapu Koko is going to be coming back out. And again, all I really need to do is knock out this Garchomp, and then I win the game with my Nihilego. So I will go for the Ice Fang into Garchomp as well as an Ice Beam and try to pick up this KO on Garchomp. Because a KO on Garchomp would be huge. A huge KO. For my Nihilego, with the Focus Sash, we'll be able to live any one hit, unless maybe Thunderbolt, Para, full Para, but I still have Pokemon in the back, like my Marowak, that can take on this Tapu Koko, as long as he doesn't go for Dazzling Gleam. And I could always just redirect the Thunderbolt from my Nihilego with the Marowak switching. So either way, as long as I get rid of Garchomp, we're good. +1 Ice Fang should be able to pick up the knockout onto Garchomp. Yes. So Garchomp goes down, and an Ice Beam will go off into Tapu Koko. The Rough Skin Recoil will bring us below... Well, it's going to be really low. We're going to see the Sky Drop into Porygon too. That's fine. I guess maybe hoping for an Ice Fang miss. That could have definitely... I think that was my opponent's really only way out. Unless maybe he had Discharge, had to go for a triple protect, and maybe Discharge there. So I can go for a Dragon Dance here since I have a free turn with Gyarados basically. And I'll just fire off an Ice Beam into the Tapu Koko, and then Waterfall will be able to pick up the knock on Tapu Koko after that. And at +2 we will outspeed and KO. So Dragon Dance with the well, looks like my opponent gonna disconnect. We will win the first game. Not bad. We're starting out this episode strong. Let's keep it strong. So the next team will be coming out after we get this Ice Beam off in the Tapu Koko, and as soon as my opponent confirms the DC. Wow, that's a bulky Tapu Koko. I think that was a +1 Ice Beam. That was either Special Defensive or Assault Vest. Definitely. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next team. Alright, second team, you are up. We are against Jonathan with the team of Tapu Koko, Persian, Kartana, Snorlax, Arcanine, and Tapu Fini. I don't know. I don't think I have anything for Snorlax, unfortunately. I do have Swords Dance on my Tapu Bulu, but that Kartana is going to be super rough to deal with, so I don't know. It looks pretty bad for your hero. I could just lead Arcanine. No. Do I bring Wishy-Washy? I think I need to bring Wishy-Washy. Like, Surf would do so much damage. Probably even 2-hit. Probably knock out the Kartana with the Instruct. So, let's go with Oranguru. Maybe Oranguru, Arcanine. I could definitely see that. Wishy-Washy and Tapu Bulu in the back. I mean, not bringing Crocodile seems interesting, but I don't think my opponent would bring Tapu Koko since Tapu Koko is not exactly necessary against my team. As well as Crocodile is a big threat to my opponent's team. So I think Kartana would definitely be in. I think Persian, Snorlax, and Fini would be in. I can see Arcanine also being in. So it depends on how my opponent wants to play this. Alright, we got the second game of the episode 100. Persian, Tapu Koko. Surprised my opponent brought Tapu Koko. I could just let Raichu. Against my Oranguru plus Arcanine. I don't know if he carries Taunt or not. I would probably assume a Fake Out into the Arcanine and a Volt Switch into the Oranguru. Trying to bring out that Snorlax. I could just Double Protect here, which I kind of do want to go for. I could also try to bring out my Tapu Bulu, but that's kind of risky. I think I'll just Double Protect here. My opponent can't really punish it. And I also could scout for a Z move potentially on the Tapu Koko, maybe the Electrium Z. Trying to pick up a knockout here. So, we'll go for a Double Protect here. Let's see what my opponent goes for. It's going to be that Fake Out into the Oranguru, actually, and the Electrium Z. Okay, so we did catch that. Nice. Nice. Don't know who this is going to target, but I do not mind. This is the Gigavolt Havoc, so it confirms my opponent carries Thunderbolt. So the Gigavolt Havoc is going to come out and target probably my Arcanine, because Arcanine is probably a big threat to the Kartana. Yep. Nice. Perfect. Good. And now I can try to set up Trick Room right away. The Persian, I guess, could go for Protect. I'm going to Trick Room here, though. And I think I'm going to try to get Tapu Bulu in. I don't know if my opponent has Arcanine. Like, this problem is Oranguru can't touch Persian. I kind of wish I had Foul Play because it would make the Snorlax matchup a lot easier. We'll go into Tapu Bulu, weaken the power of my opponent's attacks. As we see the taunt from Persian. Okay. So I could have just Psychicked that slot. As we see the Thunderbolt straight into the Arcanine. Okay. That does a lot, though. It's a crit. Okay, that's why. I was just about to say, that did a bit too much for a non-life or Coco. Okay. So I should be able to get a free Psychic off, basically, into the Tapu Koko. And I don't know who he switches out into. Could go for the Balloon Doom, because I pretty much get a free KO here. Could target down this Persian. I could also go for Sword Stance here. I don't think Sword Stance is worth it, though. I could see Kartana coming in potentially for the Tapu Koko, or the Arcanine. Or I could see Parting Shot from Persian. That's also something that I have to consider. I think I'll go for the Rock Slide here just to get some damage. I'm pretty sure Arcanine or Kartana is coming in. Oh, foul play. Into the Tapu Bulu. Maybe trying to read a switch. That actually did a lot. Not gonna lie. Here goes the Volt Switch coming out though. So I could have knocked out Persian, which would have been great, but I was expecting the Parting Shot more than the foul play. But then again, that Parting Shot, that foul play did a lot more damage than I expected it to. But then again, I am pretty invested in Tapu Bulu here. Let's see what comes out. Arcanine, Kartana. Either one doesn't really want to take a Psychic plus Rock Slide. Here comes the Kartana. So we will get the Psychic off into this Kartana, which does a pretty sizable amount actually. Lowers the special defense, which means another Psychic should be able to pick up the knockout if we landed the Rock Slide. I was just wondering how much Rock Slide actually did to the Persian, to the Kartana. It might have been able to put him out of range. I don't know if he goes for foul play Leaf Blade onto the Oranguru. He already used a Z move, so I don't have to worry about Z move. I think I will go out. I have to go on to Arcanine though and go for the Psychic in the Kartana. This Persian's so annoying. But I will make the more defensive play. I think it's the safer play. I don't care if he goes for foul play Protect here, because foul play might just activate my berry on Arcanine. So let's see how it's going to work here. Foul play is going to come out. Target down who though? It's going to target down the Oranguru slots. I'm guessing it's a Leaf Blade coming out. Leaf Blade will come out. Will this be able to knock out Oranguru or not? Doesn't get the crit, which is nice. We're able to get our berry up and heal with our Citrus Berry. It's not, unfortunately, the 50% berry, which would have been nice in the situation here. Psychic will go out into Kartana, which does pick up the knockout. That special defense drop making up for the Rock Slide miss. However, Persian plus Tapu Koko is still a bit of a concern. However, we're not in a terrible position at all. Oranguru is healing up pretty nicely. Taunt wears off for Oranguru, so my opponent wants to prevent Trick Room. He has to either knock out the Oranguru or go for Taunt again. So Tapu Koko should be coming out. Tapu Koko does come out. If I can get rid of Tapu Koko, it looks really good for my Wishy-Washy. The question is, how do I want to go through that route? I guess I want to... Well, Flare Blitz plus Extreme Speed does knock out Tapu Koko if it has no bulk. Persian's also just really annoying, but it doesn't really do much to my Wishy-Washy. You know what? I could see a double up into the Oranguru slot, so I'm actually going to Trick Room here and go for my Tapu Bulu here. Because I could see a Thunderbolt into Oranguru and just a foul play into Arcanine. I could also see the double up into the Arcanine slot, which is why I kind of want to make this play. And even if he goes for Taunt, at least he doesn't KO Tapu Bulu. And I have a Psychic I could draw off into the Tapu Koko. So we are going to see the foul play into the Tapu Bulu, which is going to do so much damage. And the Thunderbolt probably doubling up, or, yep, targeting down the Oranguru. Nice, so we will be able to get the Trick Room off. This is great. This is actually really good for me right now, because now I do have the Trick Room up. The speed control is on my favor, and the only thing that could really come out here would be a Snorlax. So, very solid positioning here. Balloon Doom in the Persian is my best play. Or Instruct. No, I don't want to lose the Bulu just yet. I think I want to just go for Psychic into the Tapu Koko, as well as a Balloon Doom onto Persian. Because Persian's like the most annoying Pokemon that's been in this game all day. And Tapu Koko can't really do much offensively. It goes for the Protect, actually. That's perfect. I don't care. Persian has Fur Coat. It shouldn't live a Balloon Doom from Tapu Bulu in grassy terrain. So we're going for the Balloon Doom straight here. I hope this wasn't a mistake. I really hope this wasn't a mistake. We will go for the full power of Bloom Doom and try to knock out this Persian. Hopefully Wishy-Washy will make an appearance in this game though. As we get the Bloom Doom off, does target down the Persian. Picks as a KO onto Persian. Great. And Psychic goes into the protected Tapu Koko, but now my opponent cannot switch out and change terrains. I don't think Tapu Fini's in the back. If Tapu Fini's in the back, that is interesting. Pretty sure it's Snorlax in the back. Or Arcanine, potentially, but we'll see. It is going to be Snorlax in the back. I don't think my Swan Return can knock out Tapu Bulu, so I'm going to switch on to my Arcanine and just go for the Wood Hammer into Tapu Koko. Yeah, I think this is a fine play. Because I will be able to save Oranguru for the Instruct plays. I will be able to get my Arcanine in, get an Intimidate off onto that Snorlax, so if it is a Curse variant, I can at least slow it down for a few turns. And let's go for this Wood Hammer into this Tapu Koko. It's going to be Facade, so that's a lot weaker than Return. This shouldn't pick up the knockout. Yeah, not even close. Wood Hammer will go into Tapu Koko. Shouldn't survive in grassy terrain, especially since it was a Z move. Yep, Tapu Koko goes down. And we are going to lose our Tapu Bulu here. However... Actually, Facade. Is that a Belly Drum set? If it's Belly Drum set, I guess he could do decently well. Gonna go on to Oranguru here, and I'm gonna get Wishy-Washy in here. I want Wishy-Washy. Like, the star Pokemon of each team hasn't actually came out yet. So, hard into Wishy-Washy. Which I don't know if it's actually slower than Snorlax. And I think I'm just gonna go for a Protect onto the Oranguru. I hope I don't mess up this game. If he goes for Belly Drum right here. Well, actually, if he goes for Belly Drum, I can make a very cheeky play. Let's see if he actually has Belly Drum. I will protect Oranguru because I do want to keep my Instructs up. Yeah, he just goes for Facade into the Oranguru. Perfect. If he was going to go for Belly Drum, what I was going to do, actually, was switch out to Arcanine. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't work because he's slower. Dang it. What I could... I was thinking I could Instruct his Belly Drum again because Belly Drum works if you aren't at max attack. So I could have made him Belly Drum again. That would have been funny. Gonna go for Instruct Surfs. As I will just spam Surf to victory. Let's go, Wishy-Washy. I hope it does at least 25%. It should, to be honest. This is Wishy-Washy. Okay, not bad. Gonna set up the curses now, but it's kind of too late. He's only gonna be at neutral attack. And +1 defense, which really doesn't matter in this stage of the game. So we will just keep going for Instruct Surf. We are doing less than 50%, which is concerning for a Recycle. However, we always have that chance to crit if we keep going for Surf and Instruct every single time. So we'll go for the Surf. It does bring him down to his berry. Great. And hopefully this grassy terrain ends soon, because this grassy terrain is actually helping my opponent more right now. But Oranguru should be able to live one more Facade after this. Yes. Perfect. Excellent. Now I can just keep going for Surf and Instruct, and I think my opponent has to keep going for Recycle. And I will play this game until I crit this Snorlax. So let's see. We might be here for a while. Surf. But again, we can always crit, and Surf is doing about 50% each turn with the Instruct. As he actually just goes straight for the Facade. He's not going for the Recycle just yet. It actually does a lot, but we do have our leftovers, so we will be recovering every turn. And every turn he decides to go for Recycle, I just keep getting my leftovers recovery, so he'll never put me in the 25% form. So, yep. 2 more Surfs will be able to finish off the trick unless he goes for that Recycle now. But again, we still have those chances to crit, and every time he goes for Recycle, I get leftovers recovery. So, kind of surprising we're not seeing the targets down to Oranguru, because Oranguru is actually being the threat here, being able to Instruct these attacks. So, Instruct Surf every single time. I wonder if this guy just won't go for the Recycle. I mean, he has a chance to win, I guess. He does. Nice damage. Recycle will be coming out. And Surf. Let's see. I'm just waiting until we get the crit. Once we get the crit, it's pretty much game over for my opponent. Because once we get that crit, we win the game. And we have so many opportunities to get a crit. A 6.25% chance isn't that bad. And this is Pokemon. I don't know, Surf might be a roll. It might be doing over 50%. Or it might be doing under. I think it's like somewhere in between. Just keep going for Instruct Surf, no matter what. Never let the Snorlax, never let the Snorlax get an opportunity to keep recycling, getting its health back. So we will keep going for Surf. I actually don't know who's slower in reality, Wishy-Washy or Snorlax. I feel like they're both base 30. As he's just gonna go for the Facade. Okay, that's game. Or maybe it's just not minimum speed Snorlax, or maybe I'm getting like the speed tiers messed up. Or maybe it's not min speed. I don't know. We will just get the Surf off, and that'll be good game. So Wishy-Washy getting the KO in the second battle of the 100th episode. So Wishy-Washy doing some work, but yeah. Next team is coming up right now. Team number 3, and we are using the Flygon team with the Haunter that we used episodes 15 to 21, I believe. We are going against a Oricorio, Mimikyu, Tapu Lele, Torkoal, Garchomp, and Pheromosa. So, how do I want to play around this Flygon? Can it do work? I mean, it can. It can. What's going to be annoying is Pheromosa. Pheromosa and Mimikyu. Mimikyu is also very annoying for this team. I kind of like leading Flygon because Flygon seems pretty solid as a lead, as well as Clefairy. Yeah, Flygon, Clefairy looks pretty good. The Friend Guard is going to be able to really help in this game. I probably need to bring something for that Trick Room mode. My Lodic is pretty good against the Torkoal and Haunter maybe in the back. I kind of like Arcanine. You know what, I'm going to go Arcanine in the back, because Arcanine can hit that Mimikyu for a lot of damage. Provides Intimidate for the Garchomp if it becomes too much of a problem for my team to handle. So I feel like Arcanine is the best call, especially since a boosted Garchomp can do a lot of work to my team. So let's see how this is going to work. It's probably Z-move on that Oricorio, like they always are, Quiver Dance. So let's see. Flygon Clefairy will take the field. I love Clefairy. I miss Clefairy, like, being that great. As against Pheromosa and the Oricorio. Okay. Oh, if I Dragon Dance, actually. If I Dragon Dance here, then Oricorio actually gets the Dancer ability. Do I think he would Ice Beam turn 1, or do I think he would actually go for, like, a attack? I think that's the thing I have to predict. I think I'm going to protect Flygon turn 1 and go for a Moonblast. I think it's very safe. Pheromosa usually carries Focus Sash on this team, so I don't want to risk anything. I just want to protect Flygon, be completely safe turn 1. As just going to be a Quiver Dance, okay. So I could have Rock Slide there, which is a bit unfortunate, but let's see. If Oricorio most likely going to go for a Z-move here. As the Quiver Dance is going to activate for the Oricorio, getting a +1 in Special Attack, Special Defense, and Speed. We're going to see the Z-move from the Oricorio come out. Hopefully this is into Flygon, but I could also see it being into Clefairy. But Clefairy should be able to live one Z-move from this Oricorio, since Clefairy is a pretty bulky Pokemon. So let's see. Supersonic Sky Strike is going to come out. And target down which Pokemon? It's going to target down the Clefairy. But we should survive. I could have got a free Rock Slide off. That's completely my fault. Yeah, Clefairy does survive. Get a Moonblast off. And this will target down this Pheromosa. Which Pheromosa, not going to be brought down to its Sash. Gets a special attack drop. But it doesn't really matter since he's going to go on the offensive this turn. I need to fire off a Rock Slide here. And good thing about Arcanine, because Arcanine's going to probably help me in this game. And I'm going to follow me here. I don't think I'm going to get to Dragon Dance up with Flygon, unfortunately. I couldn't dance exactly in front of this Oricorio, which is a bit problematic because I'm probably going to have to rely on a Hurricane not KOing my Flygon. Ice Beam is going to come out, target down my Clefairy. I don't think Hurricane should knock out the Flygon in one hit, but we'll see. Gonna gain a Beast Boost from Pheromosa, which is going to be its special attack, so it was modest. Hurricane gonna come out, 70% accurate, does hit it, and Flygon will be able to survive. Oh no, not the confusion, not the confusion. Rock Slide. Oh, but Oricorio avoids the attack. That's so bad. That's actually really bad. Rock Slide. A life of Rock Slide would have done like 80%. I gotta go into Arcanine now. Get Intimidate off. That's so bad. Tapu Lele is gonna take the field. We can still Extreme Speed Oricorio, so this isn't... Well, it's still pretty bad, not gonna lie. Especially if that's... Well, we saw the Z move on the Oricorio, so it's not... It could be Specs Lele, but it's not Z move Lele, or it can't use its Z move. Maybe I hope he misses a Hurricane. I'm gonna Rock Slide here and go for a Flare Blitz into the Oricorio slot. That missing Rock Slide was so bad, because I could have Extreme Speeded the Oricorio this turn and potentially Dragon Dance up with Flygon. Also didn't help with the confusion. Dazzling Gleam, so it's Scarf Tapu Lele because it outsped Oricorio at +1. I don't really mind it locking into Dazzling Gleam though. If I can knock out this Oricorio. Hurricane, Arcanine avoids the attack. It is a 70% accurate move. Should have went for the Revelation Dance. Here we go, Flare Blitz in the Oricorio, which isn't that bulky. Yep, and that's an Extreme Speed range. Excellent. And I will go out into my Milotic here and click Ice Beam into that Tapu Lele slot. The reason why I'm going to click Ice Beam is because Ice Beam will allow me to hit the Garchomp if it decides to switch in. Which sounds like the best play possible. If Torkoal's in the back, I really don't mind Torkoal being in the back. It can't do much. It also breaks Mimikyu Disguise. So either way, I'm in the winning end of the situation. Extreme Speed will go into the Oricorio. Mimikyu could still be a problem though. And Arcanine did take a lot of damage. I am specially defensive Arcanine. But I'm not sure if I can live with Psychic if it's modest max. Actually, was a speed tie between the Tapu Lele and Oricorio? I think they had the same base speed stat of 95. So it could be Timid Tapu Lele. Or maybe just not max speed Oricorio, which I could see. Tapu Lele is going to be withdrawn here and going out into that Garchomp. Let's see what this Oricorio does. It's going to protect, which is completely fair. But I did get an Ice Beam off, so I do have a decent position here. As I will Ice Beam into that Garchomp slot. Which actually just picks up the knockout, which actually shouldn't pick up the knockout naturally. It does 90 usually. Okay. I guess it wasn't a bulky Garchomp and I got a high roll. That's actually great for me because I would have had to make some reads the next turn, because if it was Garchomp that survived next to Oricorio, I would have had to predict whether Oricorio stayed in or switched it hard back into Tapu Lele to avoid the extreme speed. So I would have had either to attack with Arcanine or protect it. So it would have been a risk. It would have been an annoying 50-50, but luckily we don't have to deal with that 50-50. I can just go for the Scald into Tapu Lele and just go for an extreme speed into Oricorio. If Oricorio doesn't get the double protect, I automatically win. But my opponent gonna get it. Okay. But I'm not sure if... I went for this play anyway because I'm pretty sure I'll live the Psychic into Rain. We'll see though. Psychic into Arcanine will be able to not pick up the KO. This Arcanine proving in how bulky it is. I guess now he needs a triple. Scald's gonna go into Tapu Lele, which will be able to do a decent amount of damage and get the burn, so that actually helps. I will just extreme speed Oricorio anyway and Scald the Tapu Lele once again because it is my best play. If he gets a triple, I might actually be in a terrible position, but the likeliness of him getting a triple protect is very low. So let's see if my opponent gets that triple protect. It all comes down to a triple protect basically because, oh, my opponent doesn't go for it. My opponent could have won the game with a triple protect, but luckily doesn't go for it. And I will be able to pick up the KO. Maybe expecting Arcanine to... No, he didn't expect Arcanine to protect. So, I don't know what my opponent was predicting, but we will take this game. Of course, you might be thinking, of course, Psychic could crit, and maybe it knocks out my Lodic at this range. But Psychic Terrain is about to end in the next turn, I believe. This should be the last turn, Psychic Terrain. Yeah. I can just protect and not risk a crit. And then, even if Tapu Lele crits the following turn, it doesn't KO me. So either way, I'm playing very safe here. And my Lodic, this is a calm Lodic, so it's very specially defensive. So I'll definitely be able to live any hit possible. Nice. Nice. Weirdness disappears from the battlefield. And now, just fire off a Scald. And we will take this game. So nice, nice. 3 in a row. 3 in a row. Let's keep this win streak going. The Psychic gonna go into my Lodic. How much does this do? I don't even think in Psychic Terrain a crit would have knocked me out. And I do get my Morang Berry boost. And we will be able to pick up this knockout onto this Tapu Lele with the Scald and finish off the game. So unfortunately, wasn't able to sweep Flygon. But it did make an appearance with Clefairy. Knocked out the Pheromosa, which was a huge threat to my team. So I guess it worked out in the end. But time to move on to Team 4 and see if we can continue a win streak. Or if we will finally lose. Alright, it's time for Team 4. We have Ninetales, Hariyama, Marowak, the Kartana, Salamence, and my Lodic. Now, this is a team I expect to lose because in practice battle it got destroyed. It literally loses to Arcanine Feeny. Doesn't actually have a good Feeny matchup and loses to Arc. So, we'll see how this goes. Also has a terrible Salazzle matchup, which I was surprised to find that when I practiced with this. We have a Pelipper, oh, Tommy's team. Pelipper, Golduck, Buzzwole, Tapu Koko, Porygon 2, and Muck. Rain matchup is pretty interesting. I don't know how this is going to go. I do have Fake Out though, which is pretty nice on the Hariyama. Hariyama, okay. How do I want to handle this? Because whatever I bring is going to be weak to that Buzzwole. Okay, I think my Lodic plus Hariyama is a fine lead. Ninetales and Kartana in the back. Or maybe I'll lead Hariyama Kartana actually. Bluff the Fake Out. Have Ninetales and my Lodic in the back. Actually, I'm going to bring Marowak because I think Marowak does more with the Parasong because I don't have exactly the best ways to handle Porygon 2. So, not expecting to win this one because I think this team was really outdated. But we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. Let's see. Delta EM. What are you bringing? Pelipper Golduck. Okay. As we're going to lead the Hariyama and Kartana here. I don't know if Pelipper is going to switch out. That would be a really good play on my opponent's part if he just switch out the Pelipper. So what I'm going to do is fake out the Pelipper. And I think just switch out Kartana into Ninetales because I think my opponent must be afraid of a potential Assault Vest on Kartana. So I don't think you want to Hydro Pump that slot, especially if I could go out into Ninetales. But yeah, I'm just going to make this play because I'm going to fake out Pelipper, which does prevent Pelipper from setting up a Tailwind or going for Hurricane, which are definitely both potential options. Pelipper could definitely just go for the switch out, and I could see Golduck maybe attacking? I don't know, that's kind of risky. I could see Double Protect here, I could see a bunch of things, but we'll see what my opponent decides to do. Gonna go into Ninetales here, bring out the Hail, so we're in a decent position with the Hail up. Let's see what my opponent goes for. Going to withdraw the Pelipper, good play, into the Muck. Okay, I don't mind the Muck coming out. And Golduck just going to protect. Okay, so I got a pretty decent turn out of that because I get Hail chip damage onto my opponent's team. I guess now the question is who switches out. I don't know who, or does my opponent even switch out into Pelipper because that might be risky. Golduck doesn't want to take a Freeze Dry, that's for sure. I could just knock off the Muck, or I could Fighting Z the Muck and try to KO it. which I think I might try to do actually. And I think I'm going to go out into my Kartana again, because the fact that I could see a Poison Jab into the Ninetales slot, Kartana's not as valuable, in my opinion, as Ninetales. So, going to bring out Kartana. Oh, we're going to see Encore. Okay. Interesting. So, we see Encore on this Golduck and a knockoff. Going to target down the Ninetales slot. Gets rid of my Life Orb, which is a bit unfortunate, but I will actually... Z-moves actually go through the Protect, so... Go through Encore, excuse me. So, I will get an all-out pummeling, and it will target down this Muck. So, this should be able to pick up the KO on Muck. I might not have needed the KO on Muck, but I feel like it's better for my Ninetales because Golduck's at the mercy of my Ninetales' Freeze Strike anyway. So, let's see how this is going to work. Muck is going to go down. So, that's one big threat to my Marowak gone. I think Tapu Koko might be in the back. It could be Buzzwole too. Kartana going to take some hail damage. I don't know what my opponent's going to do though. I could see probably Pelipper has to come in, because, or Tapu Koko. I guess Tapu Koko could come in. But Pelipper's going to come in, so I'm not sure my opponent has Tapu Koko then. Because Dazzling Gleam would... Well, I have Wide Guard. Well, no, I was Encored. No. If he had Koko, he should have brought it out. Okay, so that means Buzzwole's probably in the back. I don't really need Hariyama. I just need a free switch, so I think I'll let my Kartana potentially go down this turn. I'll just fake out whatever happens, and I'm gonna Leaf Blade the Golduck? Yeah, I'm gonna Leaf Blade the Golduck. I expect to Scald into Kartana and something, but Pelipper's actually gonna withdraw into the Buzzwole, so good play by my opponent, probably expecting the Ninetales to come in. But I'm just going to stay in because I just want the free switch in, to be honest. As Scald is actually going to target down the Hariyama, trying to call that Ninetales and break my Sash. Guts is going to activate the Hariyama. I do have Guts on this one, I think. Leaf Blade will KO the Golduck, so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nice. Nice. Marowak should be able to win that game at this point, but it's still a tough decision. Pelipper will come out. I can't believe we're actually going to win this game. Pelipper comes out. I get a switch into my Ninetales to bring out the Hail. I'm going to Leaf Blade the Pelipper, because if Pelipper goes for a Tailwind here, which is kind of what I'm expecting, to be honest, I'd be able to KO Pelipper, break its Sash with the Hail. Leaf Blade will bring Pelipper down to Sash, and if he protects, the Hail will break its Sash, and I can Freeze Dry the following turn. There's no way Buzzwole can knock out my Ninetales, unless it's Poison Jab into a Poison. So let's see. We bring out the Hail, get the Leaf Blade off, which will be able to KO this Pelipper. After the Hail, let's see. Tailwind is going to be set up, trying to set up for a late game, and then Buzzwole comes in, and I don't know what you're going to do. Leech Life into Kartana? Yes. Which picks up the KO, but that's fine. Kartana did its job that I needed it to. And since it's Assault Vest on the Buzzwole, how do I want to play this? Pelipper goes down. Excellent. Hariyama comes out. I get to click Fake Out. Yeah, I just click Aurora Veil here. Do I need Aurora Veil? I don't really need it, but I feel like it's better just to get Aurora Veil off and fake out the Buzzwole. Guts Fake Out will be pretty nice. So let's see what my opponent does. It also stalls out a turn of Tailwind. Get the Aurora Veil off. I don't know. Let's see. This Buzzwole we've seen Leech Life. Carries Superpower, no doubt about it. Poison Jab, most likely. I wonder what that last move will be. I wonder if he has Earthquake. But I'm just going to go for the Protect with Ninetales and actually switch out to my Marowak. It's still going to be pretty tough to chip down this Buzzwole, not going to lie. But what this allows me to do is threaten this Buzzwole directly with the Marowak, save my Fake Out pressure for later in case I need it, and preserve Ninetales' Focus Sash all at the same time. So this is what I'm going for. Leech Life is going to come out. Target down the Hariyama. Okay. With the Aurora Veil up, we do take that pretty comfortably. And since we have the Aurora Veil up, I should be able to live an Earthquake in case this Buzzwole does carry. Because I know Buzzwole gets Earthquake. I'm not sure. Since this is Tommy's team, he didn't have Earthquake. But I'm not going to risk it. I can go for a Blizzard here, get some nice damage off, and just Flare Blitz the Buzzwole. Let's see if he has Earthquake. Nope, Poison Jab. That'll be game because he cannot touch Marowak. Poison Jab into the Ninetales will be able to not even pick up the KO, but does get the poison. Blizzard will be coming out. And then Marowak. Wow, that Blizzard did a lot of damage actually. And the Flare Blitz will come out into the Buzzwole, which will be able to pick up a KO. And that will be good game to my opponent. So I'm actually surprised this team won, not gonna lie. I'm actually really surprised that this team won. So we're currently 4-0, which I'm actually surprised because I lost all the battles. I trying to remember what these teams did. I don't know. Can we actually win? Can we actually go undefeated? Who knows? Stay tuned. Next team is up now. Alright, we have, I believe that's a Japanese player. I don't know what the rating was, but we have the team. We got the team of Lapras, Salamence, Marowak, Silvally, Tapu Bulu, and Muk. The Lapras team. Lapras is one of my favorite Pokemon, and I'm happy to bring it back for another time on the channel. We have a Muk, Tapu Fini, Mandibuzz, Pheromosa, Mudsdale, and Mimikyu. So already, I don't like the matchup because if that's Imprison Muk, I'm in a lot of trouble, especially Tapu Fini is like a huge problem for this team too. Pheromosa kind of KOs something. Like I actually don't have like a big counter. So Volley's probably the player choice. Do I bring Salamence? I don't think I bring Salamence here. Really doesn't do too much for me. I think Silvally plus Marowak save, but if he leads Mandibuzz Tapu Fini, I'm in a bit of trouble. I think I'm going to bring Lapras, Marowak, and Tapu Bulu. Oh, I'm so weak to that Muk, but I don't think I can help it. My team's just really weak to Muk in general. So, we're using our Scarf Silvally today. Let's see if he leads Pheromosa and he foolishly lets it in to be KO'd, because that's what I'm kind of hoping my opponent does. Actually, wait. Silvally... Oh, no. Most Pheromosa... I was just thinking about how Silvally doesn't outspeed Pheromosa with Choice Scarf, but that's only if they're max speed. So, and most Pheromosas typically are either max special attack or max physical attack. Since Pheromosa is already pretty fast, max speed, neutral nature already outspeeds Tapu Koko, so they don't tend to run max speed. So let's see how this is going to go, because this could go pretty poorly. Okay, my opponent does lead the Pheromosa plus Muk, and I'm hoping that Flamethrower can actually KO the Pheromosa, because if it doesn't, I'm in a lot of trouble. So we Flamethrower. This Muk is still a problem. I'm going to go for the Freeze Dry, though. Just get some damage. Get some damage. Okay, Pheromosa protects. Oh, is he going for knockoff into my Silvally? Please don't. Oh, no, he... Oh. This is good. My opponent doesn't know I'm Scarf. Okay, let's see. Don't be max speed Pheromosa. It's actually interesting because most Pheromosas, well, I guess some of them run protect. We usually see like 4 coverage moves sometimes. So let's see. Flamethrower the Pheromosa, Freeze Dry. He might U-turn, he might just high jump kick. I could definitely see either one of those. I could see trying to go for all out pummeling. We gotta hope. So Volley, can you come through? But then again, this Muk is still a problem. I don't have a good answer to Muk. Maybe I should have brought Salamence instead of Marowak. Well, I guess it depends on how fast this Muk is. I think I'm relying on my Marowak speed at this point. Yes, don't be sash. Nice. Silvally doing what it did. It wasn't that great during the time we used it, but it actually is coming through here. Freeze Dry onto the Muk. Doesn't get the freeze. Knockoff into my Lapras, getting rid of the Assault Vest. I don't remember my opponent's team. I guess that helps against... That doesn't help because Fini is a problem. Fini should be coming in right now. It's actually Mimikyu coming in. Okay. So Mimikyu is actually another problem. I don't know if this is Trick Room team. I could see knockoff in the Silvally though. There's no reason to though. But I'm gonna go for Flamethrower as well as I think Freeze Dry into Mimikyu just for chip damage. I already got a lot of damage on Muck. And I want to put this Mimikyu in range of maybe Wood Hammer from my Tapu Bulu. This is still going to be a very tough battle. Let's see. And Mimikyu has Swords Dance. We're in a bit of trouble too. Freeze Dry. Looks like it's Trick Room Mimikyu. It's going for that Trick Room. Poison Jab into the Lapras. So my opponent really trying to get rid of this Lapras. That does so much. Gets the Poison. A bit unfortunate. And Trick Room is being set up. Okay. Now I have to play this. Yeah, I don't think I can beat Muck. I actually don't think I can beat Muck. I already got the damage on Mimikyu I need to chip the Muck. I think I have to let Lapras go down here. Yeah, I have to let Lapras go down here. I need a free switch into my Marowak. And I need to get a little bit more damage onto Muck to where Flare Blitz could live. Oh wow, he actually goes for a knockoff into that slot, which actually helps me. Because that gets rid of my Choice Scarf, so now I'm free to go for attacks onto this Muck. Gonna go for Freeze Dry and Flamethrower. Here comes the Play Rough into the Lapras, which will be able to pick up the KO at that range. But again, I just need damage onto this Muck. Flamethrower into the Muck. Like, this Muck is really giving us trouble. It really is giving us trouble. Marowak, hard into Marowak. Hard into Marowak. Actually, that Mimikyu's max speed. It went after my Savali. Huh. Actually, wait, did it? I can't remember. Go for the Flamethrower, I guess, and a Flare Blitz. I'm not going to waste a turn protecting. Because I need the damage straight onto Muck, and Mimikyu could also be a threat later in the game. I'm just hoping this Mimikyu doesn't carry Shadow Sneak, because Shadow Sneak plus Knockup would probably KO my Marowak. If he protects Muck, that's also a really good play. Maybe I should have thought about that more, because if he protects Muck... Well, he's just been attacking with Muck aggressively. And I'm not sure if he would risk his Mimikyu here. But then again, he knows that Muck is the biggest... Oh, he does have Shadow Sneak. Should have protected. That's knockoff range 100%. Oh, he goes for Poison Jab though. We're still in this. Savali lives. I'll be able to KO the Muck. What's going on? What's going on? Flare Blitz. Oh, baby. That's beautiful. Baby, that's beautiful. And we get a Flamethrower off. Which, you know, more chip. Might put in Hornleech range. That's definitely Hornleech range. Let's see the last Pokemon though. Feeny, that should allow my Tapu Bulu to win. Mudsdale. Okay. Bulu wins. Bulu just wins. Unless Heavy Slam crits, I guess. I'm going to Parting Shot the Mudsdale and just protect my Marowak. I'm going to let Silvally go down, because Silvally's already done, like, more than enough. It's done a lot more than I expected it to this game. So, going to get a Parting Shot off. Maybe Horsepower Play Rough? Yeah. Oh, Silvally actually dodges. I actually didn't need that dodge, but I guess this helps me, sort of. Able to get that nice drop into the Mudsdale. And then Tapu Bulu just comes in. Wow, are we actually winning? I'm actually legit surprised, to be completely honest. Tapu Bulu does come in. Then again, we're not really facing the high-rated players. I had to use a different game card because I couldn't find opponents on my other game card. Like, I really couldn't. Apparently, when you're at a higher rating, you just can't find opponents. I know that, but it took like 30 minutes. It takes like an average of 20 to 30 minutes to find an opponent. And then, like, I would be here for like days trying to record. So, not worth it to me. I will just, Hornleech to Mimikyu because Mimikyu's the threat. And I guess Shadow Bone the Mimikyu. In case he crits my Bulu. Shadow Sneak is going to come out. That will KO my Marowak. As long as Mudsdale... Oh wow, that doesn't actually KO my Marowak. Heavy Slam. Long as it doesn't crit, we are good. Nice. Actually, a crit would have KO'd me. Wow, that did a lot more damage than I was anticipating. We get the Shadow Bone off into Mimikyu, and we get the Horn Leech off, which I don't know if this will knock out Tapu Bulu. I know it's grassy terrain, plus Tapu Bulu is pretty strong, but this Mudsdale is pretty bulky. But it will KO the Mudsdale. 5 win streak. I was not confident about this team. And this is a bit higher than what I was playing with my later team. So wow, we're actually on a pretty good roll. We'll see if we can continue this win streak with the next battle. Alright, it's time for team number 6, the Alola Exeggutor team. We got a team with Aerodactyl, Tapu Koko, Buzzwole, Arcanine, Weavile, and Celesteela. So, geez, what? Okay, that's a tough matchup. I want to go Hariyama plus Mimikyu. Actually, if I get rid of the Celesteela, Tapu Lele actually wins the game. But since I want to go the Belly Drum route, I'm going to lead Hariyama Mimikyu with Exeggutor Snorlax in the back. Because I want the Trick Room up, I want the Belly Drum sweeping, and I want Alola Form Exeggutor to do some kind of work. Unfortunately, I can't lead it against like Tapu Koko teams, which is a bit unfortunate. Unfortunately, like Alola Form Exeggutor is a Pokemon that's just so weak in the format, just because so weak to the Tapus, and every team has probably at least one Tapu on their team. So Hariyama plus Mimikyu will take the field against my opponent's Arcanine and Aerodactyl. I do have Mental Herb on the Mimikyu. I don't know if he has Roar Arcanine, but I guess I'll find out. I am Thick Fat Hariyama, right? Yes, I am Thick Fat, so I'll be able to lift Flare Blitz easily. I will go for the Fake Out into Aerodactyl. I'm more worried about the Sky Drop at this point onto my Mimikyu. And I'll just set up my Trick Room here. If he has Roar, he got me good, but I don't really see Roar when he has an Aerodactyl with Taunt and Sky Drop potentials, or maybe Whirlwind or something. Aerodactyl flinches. We do see the Roar, actually. Okay. Ooh, that's not that good. We do have Exeggutor out on the field. Focus Sash and the Figgy Berry on the Arcanine. Okay. So I could just go for Sleep Powder, I guess. My opponent can't knock me out in one hit. He could go for... But I could see him going for Roar right now, but if he goes for Roar, he's wasting a turn. So I think the best place is to knock off the Aerodactyl, because I do need to get rid of the Aerodactyl, but Close Combat won't knock him out in one hit, and I will go for my Trick Room, I think. I'm just going to try to get Trick Room as fast as possible. Here comes the Rock Slide. Don't flinch, and we are good. He goes straight for the Flare Blitz. This is not going to KO either one of my Pokemon. Looks like targeting down the Exeggutor. Actually, I should have went for Z-Trick Room. Knock off into the Aerodactyl slot, which will be able to get rid of a Focus Sash. And we do get the Trick Room up. I didn't go for Z-Trick Room, probably just because the Arcanine has Extreme Speed anyway. So I will go for a Belly Drum here. And a Sleep Powder. Yeah, I should have just went for Z-Trick Room. Because I'm going to go for Sleep Powder and Arcanine. If he Extreme Speed, he knocks out my Exeggutor. I get a free Belly Drum up with Hariyama. Yeah, he just goes for the Extreme Speed. Excellent. I did not mind that at all. Don't tell me this Aerodactyl has Whirlwind. Go for that Belly Drum. Get that +6 attack boost. As well as... Let's see. Let's see if Aerodactyl has Whirlwind. Rock Slide. Okay. That's not really that big of a deal. So Rock Slide is going to come out, not really do that much. And now I can get a free Psych Up, or I can get a free Belly Drum off. I would like to keep Mimikyu's Disguise intact, just because I think Mimikyu could be more valuable. Like, Disguise could help with later Trick Rooms, which is why I want to go into Snorlax here. I think +6 knockoff would knock out the Arcanine, but I'm just not going to risk it, especially since Aerodactyl doesn't threaten me right now. We'll go for the Belly Drum with the Snorlax. I don't care if Arcanine protects, because I will just keep going for attacks no matter what. So let's see. I don't think my opponent's team has anything that can stop me. I don't care if he has Taunt. He just goes for the extreme speed into my Hariyama, trying to pick up the knockout. Okay. Belly Drum will be set up for my Snorlax, so now we have double +6 on the field. We have Mimikyu who can go to +6 with our Psych Up, which wasn't on the original team actually. The original team had Ghost CMZ on the Mimikyu, which was fast in order to take on Tapu Lele. But Tapu Lele has kind of been dropping a bit lately, so close combat into the Arcanine will pick up the KO. So Arcanine is gone, and that's my opponent's Roar user. And Aerodactyl probably going to go for another Rock Slide. Yep. And this shouldn't knock out Hariyama, even at -1. Yep. Perfect. And I don't think my opponent had any priority on his team. Aerodactyl is not a Pokemon that usually carries Protect, so I could probably just freely get a knockout on that slot. Let's see. Let us see. And once I get rid of Aerodactyl, I don't have to worry about Sky Drop, which could be a factor when Trick Room wears off, and it could target down my Mimikyu, allowing my opponent a window of opportunity. Weavile coming out, okay. I don't really mind much about Weavile though. I mean, you have to fake out the Hariyama, right? You don't get a KO otherwise. You know what? I'm going to go out into my Mimikyu here and return, because I think he has to go for the fake out into the Hariyama slot. And Hariyama, although we are at +6, fake out could be helpful in the late game, especially if Buzzwole's in the back. So Mimikyu will come out. Fake out goes off into Snorlax. I don't get that play. I could have just doubled into the Aerodactyl. Rock Slide coming out. Mimikyu voiced attack, so I get to keep the skies at least. I don't know if I agree with that play though. Oh well. I get Psych Up off into the Snorlax, and I will just go straight for the return into the Aerodactyl. Yeah, this is very safe. I get a knockout on Aerodactyl, which has probably Rock Slide. We saw the... Like, Aerodactyl has never went for Protect. Weavile could carry Protect. I doubt it would carry Protect, but Aerodactyl is more likely not to have Protect than the Weavile, so I think targeting down the Aerodactyl is the smartest play. Weavile going to reveal that Protect, so great. Return is going to go out into that Aerodactyl, so Aerodactyl will go down. This is close. This can be close. Psych Up is going to go out into Snorlax. Yep. Trick Room returns to normal, but that is great by me. Let's see what the last Pokemon is. Is it Buzzwole? It is Buzzwole. Excellent. I could just Protect and Trick Room, which honestly wouldn't be a bad play. I'm trying to think about what's my best win condition. I guess getting Trick Room up. I have my Mental Herb intact. Unless Weavile flinches me with like Ice Shard. I mean, not Ice Shard. Icicle Crash. I should be good. So I'm going to Trick Room up. I guess Protect here. So let's see what my opponent's going to go for. I Protect my Snorlax. Might be Z-move on the Buzzwole. Assurance is going to come out, target down my Mimikyu, break the disguise. And let's see what the Buzzwole goes for. Life Orb on Weavile procs. Poison Jab into the Mimikyu. Good play by my opponent. However, yeah, Poison Jab is not going to do much damage. And here comes the Trick Room. And now my Snorlax is the fastest thing on the field. A return will be able to knock out Buzzwole. A Play Rough will be able to knock out Weavile. And that should be the game. Unless Play Rough misses, of course, and maybe Weavile gets a crit, but I do have Hariyama in the back still, so I think I'm good. You would assume Weavile has the Ice move as the last one, so it doesn't carry Faint, so Hariyama can knock out. As the match is going to be forfeited, and Team 6 is going to take a victory. Nice, 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 nice. And we're going to move on to Team number 7 in right now. Alright, Team number 7, we got the Beware on deck for the ship. Heading for victory, we got Pelipper, Golduck, Trevenant, Garchomp, Vikavolt, and the Beware against my opponent's team of Coco, Kartana, Marowak, Muck, Porygon 2, and the Pelipper. And I really like the position that we have, I'm not going to lie. Position's really solid for my team. I gotta bring Beware. Beware is like has to be brought. How do I want to handle this? I want to bring Pelipper Golduck, I think. It's just very solid against my opponent's team, so I don't see a reason not to bring it. Beware. Yeah, Beware is pretty solid in the back, I think. Garchomp's also pretty good against my opponent's team. Like, Banded Earthquake's going to do a lot of damage. I think I want Beware in the back because I want Beware and the fact that it could do some work here. Trevenant seems like an okay option. Like, Trevenant helps against Tapu Koko plus Kartana. Also decent against Porygon 2, I guess. But doesn't do well against the Muck Marowak, which is kind of what I'm scared of. I think I'm going to go Garchomp as the last. I don't really have an Earthquake resist, unfortunately, what I'm bringing. Because I'm assuming Pelipper would be knocked out pretty early. But we'll see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Let's see if Beware can make a strong statement in this battle for the 100th episode. Wonder what my opponent will lead. Probably Koko Kartana, if I'm being completely honest. That's what I would assume. If it's Scarf Koko, we're in bad shape. So it's actually going to be Porygon 2 Muck, which I don't mind because I can go for Hydro Vortex into that Porygon 2 and a Brine, and that'd be able to knock out that Porygon 2 100%. I guess unless it's max and I get the low roll. But I did switch up this team, so I do carry Brine on the Pelipper. Download going to activate from the Porygon 2, get a special attack rise. My opponent either has to sack Porygon 2 or sack anything in the back, and no matter what he sacks in the back, it's better for Beware, to be honest. So we'll go for the Brine plus the Hydro Vortex into that Porygon 2. This Muck can't really do much, and I do have Banded Garchomp in the back, so I am pretty set for where I am right now. So let's see what my opponent's going to go for. Probably going to go for attacking the Pelipper to break my Sash. No switch outs, no protects. Hydro Vortex will go out into that Porygon 2, which will definitely be able to pick up the KO with the Brine combination. So let's see. Hydro Vortex coming out, and it will be turning down this Porygon 2. Should do about 60%. Wow, even more than that. And Brine doubles in power when the opponent's HP is 50% or less. So Porygon 2 does go down here. So we get rid of a huge threat. No Trick Room for my opponent. Knockoff going to go out into the Pelipper. Yeah, that's not bad at all. So let's see what's coming out for my opponent. Tapu Koko, definitely could see. If it is Tapu Koko, that's a mind game that I have to play. That is a mind game I do have to play. But since we saw slow mode, I'm not sure my opponent does have Tapu Koko in the back. It's Kartana coming out, which I don't mind. Or do I? I think you have to Leaf Blade the Golduck because you don't have to. Well, Golduck's a huge threat to my opponent's team. I think I will go for the Tailwind here. I'm actually going to switch out my Golduck into Garchomp to take a Leaf Blade potentially because I feel like you would poison. Okay, I think you have to get rid of Golduck because Golduck's a very big threat to your team. And I'm going to try to get Tailwind up. Oh no, that's Bloom Doom. Will that just knock out Garchomp straight away? Which actually, I could just Hydro Pumped and knocked out this Kartana. Okay. Bloom Doom coming out onto my Garchomp. Does this KO? I am bulky Garchomp. Like a really bulky Garchomp. Nice. Garchomp actually survives. So we do get a Tailwind up. And Knockoff is going to go out into my Pelipper. Does this even KO? Critical hit. Might have mattered because we don't have an item anymore. And now it comes down to where this Muck has Shadow Sneak, I think. I'm going to go out to Golduck. And I'm going to click Hydro Pump into that Kartana and Earthquake. I know I am going to Earthquake myself, but this is the best play possible because I will knock out the Kartana here. And I could potentially knock out Muck here as well. Unless he does go for Shadow Sneak here and to protect with Kartana, but I do get a free switch into Beware, so that's not too bad of a situation. It's going to be interesting how this endgame plays. But Mucks don't usually carry Shadow Sneak anymore, so I feel very confident about this play. Unless I miss Hydro Bump, that's always an option. I don't really care if Kartana protects if Muck doesn't carry Shadow Sneak. I wonder if Muck would protect here, which I'm not exactly sure. Okay, no protects. Nice, we do connect with that Hydro Pump, which will be able to not knock out Kartana, actually. Okay. That's a bit of a bulkier Kartana. But this is Banded Earthquake coming out from my Garchomp. Won't knock out my Golduck, but it will be able to knock out my opponent's Pokemon. So now, critical hit on Muck. I don't think that matters. This is Banded Garchomp. Banded Garchomp Earthquake is strong. As Muck is going to go down. And let's see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. And hopefully we get Beware in, because I want Beware to do something in this episode. It's Tapu Koko. It looks like Beware's not going to be able to do anything, unfortunately, because I can't get in safely. I'm just going to protect my Golduck and go for a Banded Earthquake. So I think this Tapu Koko has to protect here. Or maybe it's Focus Sash. If it's Focus Sash, I don't mind. I'll get Beware the last KO then. Here comes the Earthquake into Tapu Koko. Are you Focus Sash? You are Focus Sash. Okay, Beware might actually be able to do something then. Nice. Focus Sash. Dazzling Gleam. Don't mind. Don't forfeit. I want Beware to get the last KO. Come on. Let Beware get the last KO. I want Beware. Okay. Beware will come out. I can click Facade and just KO this Tapu Koko. He'll probably go for Protect since it's the last turn of Rain. And the last turn of Tailwind, but yeah. Just gonna go for Facade. Maybe he doesn't have Protect. Let's see. Protect Golduck. Okay, he does carry Protect. I just want Beware to get this last KO. That's all I want. That's all I want. I think he's hoping that Dazzling Gleam crits Beware, but Assault Vest with the Focus Sash on Tapu Koko means that Life or Specs is not on that Tapu Koko, so he won't be able to knock out Beware even with the Dazzling Gleam. I'll go for another with Golduck, which doesn't really matter, but Beware will be able to get this last KO, and that's what I want. And yeah, crit Dazzling Gleam. No chance of KOing Beware. And let's go Beware, go for the Facade. And Golduck is, Tapu Koko is gone. So Beware team is coming in with the victory here. And yeah, next up is team number 8. Let's see if we can keep this this winning streak going. Alright, we have team number 8, which happens to be Idu's team when he was featured on the channel when he joined me. So we have Arcanine, the Araquanid, Kartana, Tapu Koko, Mudsdale, and Porygon 2. It's quite an outdated team, to be honest, and I'm kind of using the old version, but we'll see if it still has it in it. So we got Celesteela, we got Snorlax, we have Mimikyu, Tapu Fini, Arcanine, and the Muck. So what looks pretty good to me is the Araquanid, if I'm able to set it up right, as well as Kartana and Tapu Koko. So how do I want to play this game is the question. Muck could be a bit troublesome, but I don't feel like it's that troublesome. Maybe I want Mudsdale to handle the Muck. Yeah, I actually like leading Araquanid plus Tapu Koko because my opponent doesn't exactly have the save switch-ins for the combination. But that relies on me probably only... Would my opponent bring Celesteela? Like, my opponent could. I do want Mudsdale for that Muck. I could bring Arcanine for that Muck though, but I am a special variant, so it doesn't do much. I'd rather go Mudsdale. It might be a bad choice relying on Koko to handle the Celesteela, but nothing on my opponent's team can really outspeed Celesteela. Tapu Koko, so I could Volt Switch in and out of there pretty easily. So, let's see how this is gonna go. It is a pretty Trick Room looking team, and each team does have some trick room options, so I don't know how this is going to go, to be honest. Crimson Beats with the Snorlax and Tapu Fini lead, okay. So if I let Arcanine there, I would have been golden. Oh well. Araquanid plus Tapu Koko will take the field. I think Volt switching the Snorlax and going for a liquidation, or I could go for sub with Araquanid, to be honest. I don't have a reason not to. I could also go for Hydro Vortex in the Snorlax, but that's kind of risky. I think I'll just throw off a liquidation and or I could sub. I kind of really want to sub here. I think I will actually go for sub here into the Araquanid and Volt Switch out. Maybe I should protect Coco? Oh, there's so many plays I could do. I think I want to Volt Switch though, the Snorlax. I definitely need Coco alive. No protect from the Fini. Okay. So Volt Switch is going to come out, target down that Snorlax, do a little bit of damage, but I want to go for sub because I'll be able to get a Hydro Vortex off later in the game. And Hydro Vortex might be able to knock out Snorlax if I prevent Intimidate from being set up. So Kartana will come out. We're going to see a Calm Mind for Tapu Fini. Okay, that's great. That's actually really good. Depending on what the Snorlax does. If it sets up a Curse, that kind of destroys my plan of going for the Z Liquidation right off the bat. I could have just knocked out the Snorlax turn 1, I guess. And we see the return into the Araquanid. Okay. Yeah. So that's a bit unfortunate. However, I don't think I really mind that too much. Because I could go for the Z Liquidation here. Hydro Vortex into Snorlax. And I think I can just go for the Leaf Blade into Fini. He could switch on to Arcanine here, but I think I'd be fine with that because Araquanid does threaten my opponent's team. I guess the problem is if Snorlax carries Protect or not. But just picking up the knockout Snorlax potentially will allow some amazing momentum for me. I could definitely see Snorlax switching out here into the Arcanine, but I will be able to KO the Arcanine. We're going to see Tapu Fini withdraw. That's the Snorlax. Arcanine, yeah. Should Liquidation. Actually, maybe Leaf Blade Liquidation would have been a good play. But I was afraid of Protect and... Wait, that's not Intimidate Arcanine. That's not Intimidate Arcanine. What? Okay, we're gonna get the Hydro Vortex off with our Araquanid. That's Flash Fire Arcanine. Huh. So we get the Hydro Vortex off into the Snorlax, which we'll be able to pick up the KO because we're not intimidated. What the heck? Snorlax does go down. Critical hit. I don't think that mattered since we were at neutral. Am I crazy or did that Arcanine not have Intimidate? Am I crazy or did that Arcanine not have Intimidate? What's going on, people? Mimikyu is going to be sent out. It just didn't have Intimidate. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to Liquidation the... or Arcanine, I guess. And I'm going to bring out Mudsdale. Actually, maybe I should Liquidation Mimikyu. The reason is, well, Arcanine's the biggest threat to my Kartana, and once I get rid of Arcanine, Kartana can really sweep this game. But maybe it was a terrible play because now Fini might be able to set up if I do knock out the Arcanine this turn. So it might have Wall Charge though, and might knock out a Araquanid, which I wouldn't mind. Arcanine's just gonna protect. Okay, that's completely fine for me. As we're going to see the Shadow Claw into the Araquanid. Doing an okay amount of damage. Nothing big. I'm guessing Arcanine would want to switch out. Maybe it has Wall Charge. I don't know what this set is anymore, people. I'm just going to Heavy Slam and Liquidation the Mimikyu. Arcanine's always threatened by my Mudsdale or my Araquanid. Also my Tapu Koko in the back. So I don't think I have to really worry too much about the Arcanine here. It can't burn me either because of Misty Terrain. Also because of Araquanid's Water Bubble ability. But Arcanine can't do much. What if it's like, I don't know, Bloom Doob Arcanine with Solar Beam? Or maybe it's Sunny Day Arcanine. Well, Sunny Day wouldn't really come into play. I don't know what he could have, to be honest. Arcanine is going to withdraw though into Tapu Fini. So Tapu Fini is going to be out on the field. And play rough. Araquanid unfortunately avoids the attack. I think that would have KO, which is unfortunate for my opponent, but I would have got a free switch into my Kartana or my Tapu Koko. So I think either way it would have been a win for me, to be honest. But we will be able to knock out the Mimikyu here, which is very unfortunate for my opponent, as Mimikyu will be going down. So Mimikyu is going to go down. And my opponent's in a pretty tough spot. No Intimidate on Arcanine. What if it's justified? It could be justified. I wonder what ability that is. Too bad I don't have my own Arcanine to check. I would assume Flash Fire, unless he knocks off his own Arcanine. What? I'm gonna sub here with Araquanid. And high horsepower the Arcanine, because if Arcanine protects, I get the KO. Oh, we're gonna see a Z-move coming out from the Arcanine. In front of Overdrive, it looks like, and I don't know who that's targeting, either my Araquanid or my Mudsdale, but it won't be able to knock out my Mudsdale for sure, so probably into the Araquanid? Unless he's hoping for some Muddy Water accuracy drops onto my Araquanid. Yeah, he targeted Mudsdale, so I guess he's hoping for either KO with or a Muddy Water accuracy drop. Stamina will give me a defense boost. Muddy Water will come out. Araquanid avoids the attack. Araquanid is just dodging for days here, as we're going to see the Muddy Water come out and target down my Mudsdale. So Mudsdale is going to go down. Unfortunate. But I can now sub up with my Araquanid here. Which, actually, would I have been able to sub if my opponent actually was able to get the... What the heck is this? If my opponent hit the Muddy Water. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, because I get Coco in, and I can just Thunderbolt. I can Thunderbolt freely. And I'll just Liquidation the Arcanine. Thunderbolt will be able to knock out Feeny. If he protects Feeny and attempts to knock my Coco out, doesn't matter, because a Liquidation will knock out the Arcanine and have Kartana in the back. So either way, I have this game sealed up. Thunderbolt and the Feeny. I had no reason not to. I didn't have to make like a read. Bulldoze is going to come out. Okay. So my opponent revealing Bulldoze. So... Well, Arcanine was Firium, so it wasn't Assault Vest, and it wouldn't make sense to have an Assault Vest without Intimidate user. Liquidation into the Arcanine will pick up the knockout on Arcanine, so Arcanine will be going down this turn. And that will be game, because Feeny should not be able to live Tapu Koko's Thunderbolt. Or I could just Volt Switch into Kartana, if this guy tries to set up Calm Minds. Which I think I will do, so I'll just Volt Switch in Liquidation. And yeah, Tapu Koko was actually faster, so Volt Switch into Feeny will miss the knockout. Okay. And activate a berry. Is that one of the 50% healing berries? Yes, it is. Okay. But either way, Kartana, you can KO Kartana no matter what you do. I'm guaranteed to survive. And Kartana plus Coco in the back will be able to seal up the game. I don't think Feeny has anything that could actually change this game. Muddy Water yet. Araquanid still avoiding these attacks. Avoided one play rough, 2 Muddy Waters, and that Muddy Water dealt out to Kartana. No accuracy drop, but the accuracy drop wouldn't really matter. Liquidation into the Feeny does a solid amount of damage. And yeah. Liquidation and Leaf Blade, and we'll be able to win this game. As the match is going to be forfeited, and we are... I have no idea what we're on, because I'm recording these at different times, so... Who knows what we are, but hopefully we are on a positive streak, and let's continue with the next team. Alright, we have the Dragonite team up next, and this is another team that I really thought will pick up the win. But then again, most of the teams that I expected to lose actually won their games, so let's see. We have a Muck, Garchomp, Ninetales, Porygon 2, Tapu Lele, and Arcanine. So, Rain versus Hail is not fun, especially when we're running a very fast Politoed. However, I do actually like... then again, the Porygon 2 is a problem. Do I want to bring Dragonite? Dragonite really doesn't do much this game, unfortunately. So I'm going to bring Politoed, Tapu Koko as the lead, I think. Muck in the back, because Muck's actually pretty solid in the matchup. I think Marowak. Kartana could do pretty well. I don't think it's like exactly that great in this matchup, so I will leave Kartana at home. And unfortunately can't bring the Dragonite because I don't think the Dragonite will be able to do work. So that's unfortunate. Another mascot not being able to be brought onto the show today. But we'll see how this goes. So I expect maybe Ninetales. Well, I could see Ninetales leading, but I could also see it not. But I expect Garchomp to maybe lead. I will lead Politoed plus the top of Coco. Against Muck Arcanine, okay. We will get the rain up as well as the electric terrain. My opponent should know that I am Scarf. Politoed just based on the fact that I moved first. Arcanine going to get intimidated off, but I'm pretty sure Arcanine wants to get the heck out of here because it doesn't exactly want to take a rain boosted Scald. I could see maybe Ninetales, I could see it protecting, but I don't really see Arcanine staying in. I probably see a knockoff into Politoed. So maybe I should just go for a Scald in the Muck, but I could see also the Ninetales coming in, which is pretty bad. I think I'll go out to Muck because I don't really... Well, actually no, Muck is good in case he has Trick Room up. I think I'm going to go Scald the Muck and double it with a... Oh, I have the Z move. Oh, Scald plus the Gigavolt Havoc should be able to knock out the Muck. I'm actually going to go for it. If he protects Muck. Ah, good play. Good play with my opponent. Surprised that the Arcanine stayed in, though. I would have expected maybe Ninetales to come in and try to get some momentum. Does he have Wall Charge on the Arcanine? That's the only reason I could see him staying in. Unless he has Bulldoze. I could see Bulldoze too, but Bulldoze wouldn't do as much. Gigavolt Havoc into that Muck. Then again, this was a QR team and it was posted, so I don't know if my opponent knows this. Maybe I should have Scalded and Volt Switched. Yeah, that doesn't do too much, unfortunately. Snarl, actually. Politoed avoids the attack, which is pretty fortunate. Should have just protected, I guess, and Scalded. I definitely want Coco around for the later game. I think I'm going to Scald the Muck here and just Volt Switch out. Because I definitely need Coco around. Arcanine's going to protect this turn. I'm expecting probably a knockoff into Politoed, which is why I want to go for the Scald Volt Switch play, because I know Scald will probably put him in the berry range. Yeah. Gets a burn though, which is very fortunate. Get the berry, which is going to heal him 50%, but Coco will be able to Volt Switch out and then potentially knock him out later when the Muck is weakened thanks to the burn. Good. And I guess I'll bring out Marowak here. I don't care if he knocks me off because Politoed will be able to go for Hydro Pump soon. Knock off into the Politoed, which gets rid of my Scarf, which is a bit unfortunate, but not the worst case scenario in the world. Not the worst case. I will go for my... Should I risk Hydro Pump? Kind of want to risk Hydro Pump. You know what? I'm going to risk Hydro Pump. And I'm going to protect my Marowak here. Nothing wants to take a Hydro Pump on his team. And I could potentially just knock out the Arcanine right here. So let's see. Politoed's still the fastest thing on the field. We do connect Hydro Pump, so Arcanine will go down to this Hydro Pump. And now I do have a 4-3 advantage. Let's see what this Muck goes for. A Poison Jab or a Knockoff? I could see either. Knockoff into the Marowak slot. Excellent. Guessing Ninetales might be coming out here. We're in a pretty good advantage. The Muck has been burned. And pretty weakened. Flare Blitz might be able to KO it if Ninetales decides to come in, but Garchomp's going to come in. Politoed's not an Earthquake range, that's good. I'm just going to Ice Beam the Garchomp. Do I need my Muck? That's the question. Well, Tapu Lele is in the back. I probably need Muck. I'm just going to double into the Garchomp because Garchomp could protect, but I need chip damage to put in Dazzling Gleam range. Tectonic Rage coming out from the Garchomp. I'm guessing this is in the Politoed, but I don't mind Politoed going down here. Like, I really don't mind Politoed going down here. Tectonic Rage will come out and target down my Politoed. Yes. Which means I get Shadow Bone off, and this should put in Dazzling Gleam range. Hopefully. Probably told we'll go down to that. I need Muck around just in case the Tapu Lele becomes a bit of a problem. We are faster than Muck. We'll get Shadow Bone off into the Garchomp, which does put in Dazzling Gleam range. It's Sandville Garchomp. Interesting. The burn really kicking in because that Muck did nothing. And Dazzling Gleam plus Flare Blitz will be able to knock out the Muck at that range. Or at least it should. Coco comes in. Actually, it's one more turn of rain than I expected. I think I'm going to go for Dazzling Gleam and a Flare Blitz. Or should I just Shadow Bone? No, I'm going to Shadow Bone the Garchomp. What this allows me to do is, if in case Garchomp tries to switch out and save it into Ninetales and tries to get an Aurora Veil up later, I'll be able to prevent that. And I don't really need to KO Muck, and this is the last turn of rain, so if Garchomp protects, I can go for Flare Blitz into the Muck slot the following turn. So I think I'm in a good position no matter what. Garchomp is going to protect. I could have easily predicted that, but I'm just going for a safe play. A crit won't knock my Tapu Koko out thanks to the burn onto that Muck. As he Shadow Bone into that Garchomp. Poison Jab into the Koko, which won't do too much. Yeah. No poison, which is fortunate. And that Muck is pretty weakened. So I will go for Dazzling Gleam here, 100%, and I will go for the Flare Blitz. I guess into Garchomp? Or should I target down? No, I need to keep Coco alive no matter what, so I will Dazzling Gleam this. Oh, he goes for the double actually. Guess the double. I don't really mind the double though. It doesn't really help him because I targeted down this Muck. But if it's Scarf Lele, I guess that's a problem. We haven't seen the item on Lele, so if Lele is in the back, we might have some issues. Muck is going to go down though, which is good. But now, maybe I should put Muck on the field. Well, then again, I wasn't expecting the Garchomp to go for a double. Ninetales comes in though. Okay, that should be game. I think my opponent was hoping that he would be able to get the Poison Jab off. But this should secure the game, unless he gets the triple. Do I risk that triple? I guess. I'm just going to Flare Blitz the Ninetales. Because one Earthquake won't knock me out. Doesn't get the triple. Dazzling Gleam will come out and target down the Garchomp as well as pick up the knockout. And that Dazzling Gleam did a lot to Ninetales because of the critical hit. And Blizzard. A freeze won't even matter. A crit won't matter because Marowak will be able to unfollow itself thanks to the Flare Blitz. And wow. Surprising. I'm really honestly astonished by how we've actually been winning lately. I'm actually really astonished. But we will take another victory. Unfortunately, Dragonite did not get to show up on this team. Well, get to show up in the battle for the 100th episode. But we must continue on. Team 10 is up next. Alright, we got our Tapu Fini Drifblim team. We used Drifblim a bit before Drifblim was popularized in the meta. So we have our Drifblim, Tapu Lele, Garchomp, Arcanine, Metagross, and Tapu Koko, which did allow me to win an Aeon Gaming tournament. Let's see if we can actually win today in today's episode though. Togedemaru is a bit of an annoying Pokemon. Annoying. How many times can I say annoying? I don't know. I could honestly probably just leave Tapu Fini plus Koko. Actually, I might not even need Drifblim in this. Do I really need Drifblim? I don't think I do. I think I'm going to lead Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini. Garchomp for sure in the back. Do I need Metagross? I don't really need Metagross. I guess Arcanine's fine. Yeah, I'll lead Arcanine in the back. Because close combat's pretty good against Persian, as well as Snorlax. Togedemaru. Wall Chart's good for a Gyarados. So we're not bringing the star of the team, unfortunately. But I think everyone's seen a lot of Drifblim in their VGC history if you played in any time in the recent months. Because it did get popular. So Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini. I know it seems like a weird lead, but it seems the most solid one to me. Against Persian Snorlax, okay. So I do carry Taunt on my Tapu Koko. And I kind of just want to fire off a Calm Mind. This is tough. I kind of want to go into Arcanine here and just click Moonblast. Like, Fake Out Belly Drum is like such a free play for my opponent. I don't want Tapu Koko's Sash to go down. I think I'll try to get some chip damage onto my opponent's team with the Muddy Water to put Snorlax in range of a possible close combat. And then Moonblast and try to weaken this Persian as well. So, get Arcanine in. As Fake Out is going to go out into the Tapu Koko slot like it should. Muddy Water will connect with both Pokemon, fortunately. And should do about 10% to Snorlax. Oh wow, that did a lot less. Z Belly Drum, it looks like. Okay. I don't mind Z Belly Drum. Wait, that's not Z Belly Drum. Z Happy Hour. What? That boosts all its stats by 1, right? Yeah. Was not expecting that, but that's... I don't know about that. I mean, it wastes a... it wastes a move and a Z move. Okay. I guess I'll just protect Arcanine because I can see Parting Shot and a Protect from Snorlax. And I think I'm going to Calm Mind here and try to gain some damage output with my Tapu Fini. I can see Gyarados coming out later in the game too. So, going to protect my Arcanine for now. That means he doesn't have a Berry Eater. And yeah, Snorlax protects, so I do call that correctly. As we see a Foul Play into the Arcanine. So it looked like my opponent just wanted to KO, or try to 2-hit KO the Arcanine. We will get a Calm Mind up with Tapu Fini, so we will be able to get to a nice +1 with our Tapu Fini. And now I can go for a close combat. He doesn't have a Berry, which is really, really interesting on Snorlax. And I will go for the Muddy Water here, just to get some damage onto whatever he could potentially switch out into. Parting Shot will come out, and I'm guessing it's going to be into Fini, actually. So, is Gyarados coming in for the Intimidate? I kind of thought he would Parting Shot the Arcanine. I'm guessing that's Gyarados coming in? No, it's Tapu Fini. Oh, is this Psycho? Well, if it's Psycho, Muddy Water plus Close Combat should finish the job. Life Orb Close Combat goes off into Snorlax. Jeez, that did not do as much damage as I was hoping for. And we will get a Muddy Water off, but this Snorlax gets a free attack. It can't recycle though since it doesn't have a berry. What does it go for? Return? High Horsepower? Muddy Water goes out into both my opponent's Pokemon. Accuracy drop on top of Fini and Snorlax, unfortunate for my opponent. And Facade actually going to go off into Tapu Fini, but that shouldn't do much at neutral, yeah. That's the thing though, like, yes, you have your boost, but I guess you have Psych Up on Fini then? I'm just going to Wild Charge Moonblast to Fini slot then. I think Snorlax protects and we see a Psych Up. And I will double into Fini because I could potentially knock it out. Here we go, the Protect from the Snorlax just as called. Wild Charge will go off into that Fini slot, so good amount of damage, great. Is this Z? No, it can't be Z Psych Up. Life Orb Recoil. We are faster than his Tapu Fini. I did put a lot of speed investment into this Tapu Fini, and the Moonblast will KO the Tapu Fini. Nice. So very solid positioning. If he wants to bring out Gyarados, I always have that Wild Charge for him, so very solid positioning here. So let's see what my opponent has. This is like the weird thing about Snorlax. Snorlax is like a Pokemon that usually heals off damage, and unless he has Rest, he can't really heal off that damage. Here comes Togedemaru coming out on the field. I don't know what he goes for, but I'm going to actually switch on to Garchomp because I feel like he would Encore or Fake Out the Arcanine slot, and I'm going to Moonblast the Snorlax. If he has Rest. Well, that's Facade, Happy Hour, Rest. I mean, that's not really threatening set, I guess. And I have Sword Stance anyway. Zing Zap, going to go out into the Arcanine slot. We do get a Moonblast off into the Snorlax. Will this pick up the KO? That's the question. I don't think it will. No. Facade will go off into the Tapu Fini, but that's not going to do too much damage. And it looks like he doesn't carry Rest, so we should be pretty good to win the game. Mist disappears from the battlefield. And I will go for the Tectonic Rage into Togedemaru and a Muddy Water here. I'm very safe as long as I'm able to get the end of match is going to be forfeit. So Happy Hour Snorlax was pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't like the concept. I don't like the concept of not being able to heal Snorlax. I really just don't like that concept. But a +1 Feeny with +1 defense, special attack, special defense, that would have been, and speed, that would have been pretty threatening, not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure that was Psycho. I'm very confident that was Psycho. But we will be able to take the team with the Drifloon Tapu Fini. Next team coming up right now. Alright, team number 11 on deck. We have... This wasn't actually my team. It was built by a player named Zawa. And it was a QR code team that was released like around the beginning of the format actually. So we'll see how this goes. We got Pikachu, Wailord, the Golda... No, we don't have Golda. Pelipper, Tapu Koko, Mimikyu, and Kartana. Our opponent... Rocking out with Sun. Oh, geez, that's not really... Well, no, it's not that great. It's not that great for us. Yeah, that's really not great for us. Oranguru is immune to Ghost. Oh, we don't have a way to stop Oranguru from setting up Trick Room. I think we ought to lose here. I don't see a way we can actually, like, stop my opponent from setting up, like, Trick Room or anything. I'm gonna leave Pikachu Wailord, actually. With Pelipper and Mimikyu in the back. This is going to be so bad. I don't know what to do. My opponent has so many options. Torkoal Lilligant's a very clean option because you can go for Sleep Powers. You pretty much get the momentum up no matter what. You could lead Oranguru Hariyama and get that Trick Room up. I don't exactly have a good way to stop that. This is not going to... This doesn't look good. Let's see. Juan Bertel. Pikachu Wailord will take the field. Tapu Lele and Oranguru. So Tapu Lele will get the Psychic Surge up, which is not good for me. This is pretty bad. I'm gonna go on to Pelipper here. Oh, this is bad. Water Spout. He's probably just going to Psychic the Wailord, to be honest. Maybe I should predict that and go for a Thunder into the Tapu Lele and switch out into my Mimikyu. This is so bad. This team doesn't only have Speed Control and Tailwind. So we go Mimikyu here. Oranguru withdraws. That's interesting. Torkoal coming out. So now we can only have a... Wait. Is Thunder affected by Sun? I think it is. Is it 50% or is that only Hurricane? I don't remember. Psychic gonna go out from the Tapu Lele into the Mimikyu slot, so I do call something right. Okay. And Thunder misses the Tapu Lele. That's been unfortunate, but not too bad of a situation. I can go for Thunder into Torkoal, expecting a switch, and I think I'm going to Swords Dance up because Tapu Lele might protect here. No, it just goes for Psychic. And he actually stays in with Torkoal. Not what I was anticipating. Because I could switch into Pelipper right there. I'm going to get destroyed. Oh no. Oh no. Sun Boost Eruption, that should KO Mimikyu at single target. I got destroyed in this one. Oh, what was I supposed to do? I don't think I had a matchup at all. I don't think I had a matchup plan at all. I guess we have Pelipper plus Wailord? I don't know. I don't think he can win a game. Especially since he can just Psychic the Wailord slot. I got hard bodied. But it's like, I don't think this matchup, I can do anything about it. I'm really surprised that Torkoal stayed in though. If I switched into Pelipper, I might have been in a really good position. Let's see. If I if he targets down Pelipper right here, for whatever reason, even though he should target down Wailord, because most likely you know that this team doesn't have Protect on Wailord, you go for the Psychic and the Wailord and you switch out Torkoal. If he doesn't do that, I'm actually going to be very, very upset. Torkoal does withdraw into probably the Hariyama, actually. Okay. Yeah, that's a good sack, because Hariyama doesn't do much. Psychic into the Wailord. Okay, so my opponent played the endgame mode. Oh, shoot, that did so much. Is that Specs? I got 4-0'd and I don't even think I got an attack off onto my opponent. He just, yeah, I got 4-0'd. I actually got 4-0'd. I actually got 4-0'd. He just fake out Psychics here. He just fake out Psychics here. There's nothing I can do. Pelipper can't do anything in the sun. What? I don't know about that. But I guess it doesn't matter. I lose no matter what. I got hard-bodied here. Jeez. Jeez. Damn. Yeah. I probably could have... I probably should have let Coco then. Let Coco and start Volt Switching around. But it's still hard because he was able to knock out everything on my team. Maybe I should let, like, what? Coco Mimikyu? Shadow Sneak Volt Switch? But that's so bad against the Oranguru part of his team. Yeah, I don't think I can do anything. I actually don't know. But we fall at team number 11. Takes a loss. But, you know what? I don't know what to say. Hopefully, we'll be able to win the next one. I don't know. I don't know what to say after a loss. I just absolutely got destroyed. But yeah, we'll move on to the next team. And hopefully we can keep a decent record. Alright, we have team number 12, and I'm not exactly sure how this one's going to go. We are using the Torkoal, Lilligant, Weavile, Tapu Bulu, Gyarados, and Xurkitree. All I remember is losing a bunch with this team, like when I played it. So, I played it with it earlier. I mean, it did decent, but I don't think it's going to be, like, game-changing. So, let's see. We have a Kangaskhan, Mandibuzz, Togedemaru, why couldn't I remember the name for a second? Arcanine, Vanillux, and the Tapu Fini. So Sun looks pretty amazing in this matchup, but the Vanillux is going to be... Kangaskhan's interesting too, but Fini is... Well, Fini plus Mandibuzz is going to be annoying for this team. It doesn't exactly have the best answers, especially since we can't use our Xurkitree. Tapu Bulu looks pretty good. I'm going to lead Torkoal Lilligant because it does seem pretty solid against my opponent's team. Tapu Bulu, and I think Xurkitree in the back. I don't really need Gyarados for much, although Arcanine could be a bit of a problem, so probably going to have to rely on hitting Sleep Powder. But I do want Tapu Bulu because Tapu Fini could be a problem, and I want Xurkitree for the Mandibuzz specifically, so let's see if this is going to work. I swear, every time I do this, the light just changes. I don't know why. I don't know why, but who knows. So, let's see. It could be, what? Kangaskhan Fini. Now I was expecting it all. Okay. We will lead Torkoal Lilligant here. You can't switch into an Eruption, so I wonder if Fini's going to switch out into Vanillux. I kind of doubt it. I think I want to try Sleep Power to Kangaskhan as fast as possible. Like, Fini's not as big of a threat right now, because I will bring out my Tapu Bulu. And I think I will just go for the Sleep Powder, actually, into Kangaskhan. I don't care if he fakes out Lilligant, because I do expect one of these Pokemon to switch out. I would assume the Fini would switch out, because Kangaskhan can fake out. I could see a fake out into the Torkoal slot, and a switch out to Vanillux. I could definitely see that play. But Torkoal's going to be the last one to switch out, so no switch outs. Maybe Calm Mind being set up? I will get my Tapu Bulu in, which is able to provide the grassy terrain on the battlefield. As we will see Fake Out probably into Lilligant. No, it's actually into Torkoal. But we missed the Sleep Powder, a bit unfortunate. Muddy Water's going to come out. Okay, so not the worst of turns here. Not the worst of turns. Okay. So, not the best, not the worst either. I probably can just get a free Sleep Powder and a Kangaskhan, to be honest, as well as I'm probably going to double out into my Circuitry here and just go for a Sleep Powder, I think. Because I definitely expect Tapu Fini wanting to keep its terrain. It's afraid of Sleep Powders for sure. I think it would want to switch out here. I don't know what it would switch out to. I definitely don't expect Vanillux here, but if Vanillux does come out, that's a bit troublesome. But I will go out into my Circuitry here to threaten maybe a Mandibuzz potentially on the switch in. So Fini is going to switch out. Arcanine is going to come in, so again, not bad for me at all. Not bad for me at all. Intimidate is going to fire off. The problem is I don't know the speed tiers between this Arcanine and the Fini. We do connect the Sleep Power this turn, so it's actually pretty good that we hit this turn. But let's see. I could just Bloom Doom Thunderbolt the Arcanine, which is kind of what I want to do, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to do that play. Because I need to knock out this Arcanine. Like, Arcanine's a huge threat. If I get rid of Arcanine, the rest of my team can easily sweep through. So I'm going to go for the Bloom Doom and Thunderbolt, expecting Kangaskhan to switch into maybe Tapu Fini. And I'm going to try to get this Thunderbolt off into Arcanine. If Arcanine switches out, like, into Fini, I guess? I don't know. I don't think that would be the correct... Actually, it could be the correct play if my opponent plays it well. But you're still banking on Kangaskhan waking up. I could see Arcanine protecting too, but I'm kind of hoping my opponent doesn't protect Arcanine. Actually, my opponent's staying in, so we get the Grassy Terrain boost. This could be bad because if this puts the Arcanine in range of a berry, we probably won't be able to knock it out with Circuitry. So here we go. Bloom Doom coming out from the Lilligant onto this Arcanine. Will it be able to pick up the KO with the Thunderbolt? Well, we have to see who's faster. Oh, jeez. That did a lot of damage, but the berry is probably going to heal it right back up. There it is. Not that good. But we do outspeed the Arcanine. A Life Orb Thunderbolt. Can Circuitry come in clutch? It does come in clutch. Arcanine is going to go down. Excellent. As Beast Boost is going to activate for the Circuitry. Special attack is going to rise. Life Orb damage. And Kangaskhan's going to wake up and go for the return into my Lilligant, it looks like. So I do not... That did so much damage, actually. That did so much damage. Okay. Calm down, Kangaskhan. Who's going to come in now? Vanillux or Fini? I don't think Fini's going to come in. Unless the Mandibuzz is in the back, then Fini might come in. So let's see. Togedemaru is going to come in. Okay, I completely forgot my opponent could switch into Togedemaru at any point of the game. Alright. I can't sub. I need to somehow... Okay. So I feel like my opponent has to get rid of my Lilligant as well as just maybe Encore into the Torkoal. Wow, I'm surprised. We saw no Vanillux and Mandibuzz. That's a huge mistake from my opponent. I don't know what my opponent's thinking. I think going to Torkoal is the best play. And going for a Protect because I'll be able to after your Eruption and KO the Togedemaru at this range. Or I could just Sleep Powder the Kangaskhan the following turn. That's also a play. So Torkoal is going to come back out. We will protect Lilligant. Let's see. Fake Out. Going to go into the Lilligant slot. And a return. Going to go into the Torkoal slot. Okay, that shouldn't do too much. That Kangaskhan's pretty happy. That Kangaskhan's pretty happy. That did a lot more than I expected. Sun is still up for one more turn, I believe. Yep. Now it's a question of what does my opponent do. I just want to fire off an after you Heat Wave, to be honest. Because I think Tapu Bulu can win this game if I just weaken Kangaskhan. And I can knock out Togedemaru. But we're going to see a Togedemaru switch out into Tapu Fini. Which is kind of the play I was expecting, to be honest. Because it prevents Sleep Powder from hitting. But as long as I get the damage onto Kangaskhan I need. And also get maybe a free switch into Tapu Bulu. I'm in a pretty good shape. So let's see. Heat Wave into the Kangaskhan. It's probably Assault Vest. That did a lot more than I expect. Maybe it's not Assault Vest. Critical hit on Feeny, okay. Return into the Lilligant, which will be able to pick up the knockout with a critical hit, does not matter. But now we get Bulu in. Sun fades, but we don't really need the sun anymore. Hard into Bulu. Hard into Bulu. Do I need sun up again? I really don't, do I? I could just fire Hornleech into Feeny and just a Heat Wave into Kangaskhan. A Wood Hammer would knock out Kangaskhan though, which is kind of why I'm tempted to just go for the Wood Hammer. I think I want to go out into Circuitry. I don't want to take the Muddy Water. I think I'm just going to protect and go for the Wood Hammer into the Kangaskhan. Let's see, Torkoal protects here, so we're going to get a turn of Grassy Terrain. We do get the Wood Hammer. Oh, if I could have knocked out the Feeny, because my opponent would have let me. But I do knock out the Kangaskhan. Moonblast shouldn't knock out the Bulu at this range. He has a Z move. It's going to be the Hydro Vortex coming out. Was not expecting that. So is that Hydro Vortex in the Torkoal slot? Yeah, it's Hydro Vortex in the Torkoal slot, it looks like. Unless it targets Bulu. Yeah, it targets down Torkoal actually. Wow. Torkoal coming in clutch, actually surviving that. But a fake out plus... Okay, now it's going to be tricky because I think my opponent can still win. Togedemaru is very, very frightening here. I think I have to let Torkoal go down and switch on to my Circuitry. Yeah, that's the play I exactly have to do to win, actually. Togedemaru does come out. Floats with that air balloon. Heat Wave into these mons. How many turns of Grassy Terrain? We have 4. Yeah, we're good. Circuitry switch in here because if he fakes out and goes for Moonblast in top of Bulu, I'm kind of screwed. And the Muddy Water, which means he would be able to protect. And I don't know if this thing has Poison Jab or not, but I'm not risking anything. Fake out into Circuitry. Muddy Water doesn't miss. Okay. So Torkoal will be going down here. But I get to keep my Tapu Bulu healthy, which is exactly what I want. And now you have to protect with Feeny, right? If you lose Feeny, you lose the game. Let's go into Tapu Bulu. I think clicking Superpower into Togedemaru is my best shot. Because it's my only way to really hit the Togedemaru. I could go for Hornleech, but Hornleech wouldn't do too much, in my opinion. So, gonna go for Superpower into Togedemaru, as well as a Hidden Power Ice, just in case Superpower is not enough. Which it might not be enough, because Togedemaru is decently bulky. Oh, jeez. This is close. Especially if Feeny doesn't protect here, we could be in a lot of trouble. And if Superpower Hidden Power Ice doesn't pick up the knockout on Togedemaru. Feeny does protect though. It's like forced to protect here. You can't lose Feeny or you lose the game. Here we go. Superpower into the Togedemaru. Will this pick up the knockout? Will it? Will it? It does. So Togedemaru going down there. And now we'll be able to get a Thunderbolt off into the Tapu Feeny slot. Grassy Terrain does heal, and Life Orb Thunderbolt should knock out the Feeny, but Hydro Vortex usually means it's a faster Feeny, so I don't know, it could be risking a bit, but I do want to just go straight for the Superpower plus Thunderbolt. If he gets a crit or a Muddy Water accuracy drop, I guess it could be game. But, you know what? No time like the present to find out. Superpower will go out into the Feeny, doing nice 10%. Thunderbolt should be able to pick up the knockout though at that range. We do outspeed. Thunderbolt will be able to pick up the KO onto the Tapu Feeny, and that'll be good game to my opponent. So the Torkoal Lilligant team, another team I didn't expect to win a game, does actually take a game. Nice. Very nice. And we really did showcase the Torkoal Lillian as well as Xurkitree, putting in a lot of work in this battle. So I think it's a win for this team. Let's move on to team number, I believe 13 is up next. Alright, time for team number 13, Wolf Glick's Melbourne International team. So we have our Arcanine, Hariyama, Porygon 2, Nihilego, Tapu Bulu, and Muck against my opponent, who looks like is rocking a Drifblim, Tapu Lele, Tapu Koko, Kartana, Arcanine, and Garchomp. Does this team have anything that can really beat this core? I don't know exactly. How do I want to handle this? Nihilego can do really well. I do like Nihilego as the lead. Tapu Bulu can do a lot of work. I think Porygon 2 is necessary, and Arcanine is also necessary. I don't need Hariyama because Hariyama doesn't really do much. I guess Poison Jab would knock out Lele, and it boosted close combat from the Flame Orb would be really nice here. But I need Arcanine because Kartana is a huge threat to this team. And yeah, this is going to be a tough one. You might be wondering why I'm not bringing Muck against Drifblim Tapu Lele. It's because Muck can easily get burned, and then my entire plan for this, like a burned Muck doesn't really do anything. He has Arcanine, Kartana, Garchomp, and with the factor of burning with Drifblim, I don't think that Muck is that good in this matchup. I wonder what my opponent's going to bring though. Maybe my opponent won't even lead to Tapu Lele, Drifblim core, but a lot of players I know just tend to auto lead this, so we'll see how this works. This is going to be a tough matchup for sure. So we got Preosis, or I don't know how to pronounce that, as we see Tapu Lele, Garchomp. Okay, not bad for me, but not the best. We do lead our Tapu Bulu plus the Nihilego. The Psychic Surge will activate first, as we will get the Grassy Surge up as well as the Grassy Seed. So I wonder what my opponent's gonna do. I do need to knock out this Garchomp, but this well, I guess the positive thing I can take is this Garchomp most likely doesn't carry, oh, this is the wrong, this is the wrong Tapu Bulu. This is the wrong Tapu Bulu, okay. I'm gonna go for my Windhammer, my Bloom Doom into Garchomp, and sub up. The reason I'm going to try to sub up is because I want to try to take this Tectonic Rage that's most likely coming my way into Nihilego. But, oh, my opponent has Poison Jab. Yikes, was not expecting the Poison Jab. And I think that cost us the game. Oh, but it's actually a taunt into the... Okay, so if it's a taunt, that's not too bad. If it's taunt, it's not too bad. I can go out into my Porygon 2 now. And I don't think I need Trick Room up. Okay, this game's definitely not unwinnable now. Download boost, special attack. I will just go for a Sludge Bomb into Tapu Lele and an Ice Beam. We should be able to live... I don't know if we live... Well, we should live Ground EMZ plus Psychic, which is my, what I'm thinking here. Sludge Bomb into the Tapu Lele, which... That's not crit, but that did a nice amount of damage. Ground EMZ is going to come out from the Garchomp. Who is it targeting, though? I don't know who's targeting. It might be Nihilego. Could be the Porygon 2. They're both really potential good targets. So, let's see. It's going to be the Tectonic Rage. If it's in the Porygon, double up, I'm okay with that. Okay, it is in the Porygon. So we should be able to survive this with the Moonblast probably coming out from the Tapu Lele. Yeah. Nice. And he just goes for the taunt. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Because I get an Ice Beam off into this Garchomp, which will be able to almost pick up the knockout, actually. Oh, we get the freeze. That's unfortunate for my opponent. That is unfortunate for my opponent. Did I need the freeze? I don't think I needed the freeze because I would have just Sludge Bombed and potentially just picked up a double KO. That's unfortunate for my opponent, though. I'll go for the Sludge Bomb. into Garchomp though, and just Ice Beam this Tapu Lele in case Tapu Lele decides to protect. Yeah, Tapu Lele is going to protect, and probably an Earthquake. So I am going to be able to get the Beast Boost with my Nihilego, so we are at +1 special attack. Very unfortunate freeze from my opponent, but what can he do? I didn't think I needed to freeze because I'm still behind the sub. I'm still in a pretty good position no matter what. But yeah, that kind of sucks for my opponent. Special attack. Rise, Ice Beam in the Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele is being very weakened. A Psychic won't be able to knock out Nihilego now, even if he's able to get rid of the sub. So, very nice position here. Very nice position. Let's see what's going to be brought out next. Probably Kartana, I would assume, if my opponent did bring Kartana. And I think he would bring Kartana because the matchup does not look good if he didn't bring Kartana. Tapu Koko taking the field. Okay. I don't know what my opponent brought then. I think you had to bring Kartana, right? I guess I'll just Sludge Bomb the Tapu Koko and Ice Beam the Tapu Lele. I mean, I have no reason not to. If he goes for Psychic, that's fine. Really doesn't affect me too much. Because that will break the sub, yes. But I can pick up a knockout potentially. Tapu Lele is going to withdraw. Into Arcanine. Oh, so my opponent didn't even bring Kartana. Oh, this is really good for me, actually. So Arcanine coming out here. Getting the Intimidate off. As we see a Volt Switch. Okay. Into Porygon 2 though. This guy is really just not targeting my Tapu Lele at all. I mean my Nihilego at all. Tapu Lele is going to come back out, but a Sludge Bomb is going to pick up the knockout. I was actually, even if I would target down the Tapu Lele slot, I would have went for Power Gem no matter what. So the Arcanine would have been a pretty bad switching no matter what, because I would Power Gem that slot because Kartana is definitely a Pokemon that could have been brought in that slot. So we get a Tapu Lele, and now my opponent's forced to bring the terrain back up. Beast Boost is going to activate for Nihilego, and a special attack boost. Ice Beam, just to get a little minuscule chip damage onto Arcanine. I wonder if that's AV. Oh my lord, Porygon 2. I don't need these freezes to win the game, but Porygon 2 is saying, hey, I'm going to put in some work in the video. So we got Tapu Koko coming back out. Do I just... What do I do here? I mean, I think I just want to Power Gem the Arcanine, to be honest. And I think I'll recover. Because no matter what, he can't KO Porygon 2 and knock out the Sub on Nihilego unless he has Discharge. Oh yeah, Tapu Koko going for the Protect. And that should be game. Oh, he either went for Extreme Speed or a double. Or a Protect. So Power Gem is going to be able to knock out the Arcanine. Very unfortunate for my opponent, but I got a free recover off that, basically. So don't know what my opponent was trying to go for there. Beast Boost is going to activate. Nihilego getting probably all 4 KOs. Nihilego is going to get all 4 KOs. Nice. The showdown's still up. Yeah, and he can't really win the game when he can't touch my Nihilego behind the sub. We just recover up, and that'll be good game. Unfortunately, my opponent's not going to let my Nihilego get all 4 KOs, but it would have. So, I'm actually surprised. By the time I'm recording this, it's actually in order now, and I think we had, what, 13 wins and 1 terrible loss? I'm shocked, to be honest, but actually no, wait, this is 12 wins? Yeah, 12 wins. Yeah, 12 wins, 1 loss. Okay, I was miscounting, but let's see if we can pick up that final win. Alright, our last opponent, which actually is probably the highest rated player I think we faced today, will be our last battle. We are currently, I believe, 12-1. Which is actually insane. I did not expect to do this well. I was losing horribly when I practiced his teams earlier. I went negative and had to literally reset my rating, so I'm actually surprised. But we have a Tapu Koko Whimsicott, Arcanine, Metagross, Tapu Fini, and Muck as the standpoint. Our final team. Even though we didn't do 7 battles with this team, I mean, I am doing 7 battles at this point, and it was featured, and it was probably one of the most loved teams of the series so far. So, we are bringing the Starmie, the Machamp, Arcanine, Magneton, Gengar, and Kangaskhan. So, let's see. Can this team put in the work that it needs to today? We got Kangaskhan, Gengar as the lead. Tapu Koko is a bit of an annoying Pokemon to deal with. I think I want to have Arcanine and Machamp in the back. I don't know. Magneton looks so good in this matchup, but I don't think it's worth it. Yeah. I'm just going to go with these 4. Maybe I could have led something that's not Kangaskhan, but I like Kangaskhan as the lead. It just gives me fake out pressure. It's pretty nice. Not sure what my opponent's going to bring, though. I don't think well, I guess I could see Tailwind being set up here, but I don't think it's worth. I think you need Metagross for that Machamp. Fini Arc is always solid. Muck, maybe? For the Gengar? Who knows? But this is going to be our last battle of the 100th episode. I hope everyone has even... If you've watched up to this far, thank you. As Muck, Whimsicott will take the field. So... Ooh, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. But I will be able to Sludge Bomb the Whimsicott here and go for Fake Out. I can't afford to do anything fancy because of the fact he could just go for a Encore the following turn. So I will just Fake Out the Muck and Sludge Bomb the Whimsicott. Whimsicott reveals Protect, okay. But we do Fake Out the Muck, so Muck doesn't Protect here. Maybe trying to read me to double into the Whimsicott, but that is alright. Muck flinches, not big of a deal. I think I'm going to switch out Gengar and go out into my Arcanine here. And I think I'm just going to try to weaken this Muck. And put into maybe a Flare Blitz range. Yeah. So I'll return the Muck here. Because even if he Encores a Kangaskhan, like I was going to switch out Kangaskhan the following turn anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. We do get the Intimidate onto the Muck. We're probably going to lose our Berry though, which is a bit unfortunate, but probably not the worst case scenario in the world, as we are going to see the Whimsicott actually withdraw into the Arcanine from my opponent's side. Okay. These shiny Arcanines. Intimidate is going to drop onto my team. We will get a Facade off into the Muck, which doesn't do too much unfortunately. Knock off into the Arcanine. Unfortunate, but not the worst case. I think I'm going to switch out my Arcanine, go on to Gengar, and Rock Tomb the Arcanine on my opponent's side, because you would expect my opponent not to go into Arcanine with a Flare Blitz. I could see double up in a Kangaskhan, I could see Poison Jab into the Arcanine, but I can't see double knockoff, to be honest. We go for the Rock Tomb, we do connect with the Rock Tomb onto the Arcanine. Bit of chip damage, always beautiful, always beautiful. Flare Blitz is going to come out, target down my Kangaskhan, it looks like. Yep. That does so much damage, jeez. And knock off into the Kangaskhan slot. So my opponent did double in the Kangaskhan, okay. And do I need Kangaskhan? That's the question. Because I could easily save the Kangaskhan. I think I am going to save the Kangaskhan. Just go Protect with Gengar. Switch out into my... I can go to Machamp here, I guess. The question is, do I want a Dynamic Punch or do I just want a Flare Blitz again? I think I'll go into Machamp. Because I expect Extreme Speed into the Muck slot. I mean to the Kangaskhan slot, so Machamp won't be taking too much. I could have went to Arcanine again, but I don't want to weaken Arcanine too much for the late game. So keep the Gengar around with the Protect, as Arcanine actually protects, probably anticipating the Z move. As knockoff is going to go out into the Gengar slot, so this is pretty ideal of a turn here. I think I can go for the Sludge Bomb and Dynamic Punch because it will be able to knock out the Muck, and I don't think Sludge Bomb will proc the Berry on Muck. Or should I Shadow Ball just in case it does proc? I think I should Shadow Ball and Dynamic Punch to Muck because he can't switch out for Intimidate. I don't know if Arcanine switches out. I think it would just Flare Blitz to Gengar, but I think that would be fine positioning wise for me. The Arcanine is at -1, so it won't be able to knock out the Gengar unless there's Shadow Sneak from Muck. I guess that's always a possibility. But we're going to see Arcanine withdraw. That's great. Feeny? Whimsicott. So now wanting to take the Sludge Bomb goes into Whimsicott. We will get Shadow Ball off into the Muck. Yeah, I think Sludge Bomb would have actually procced the Berry. And the Dynamic Punch doesn't actually pick up the knockout on Muck. But we do get the Confusion. And Muck shouldn't be able to knock out Gengar in one hit. So let's see. Does it hit itself? Muck is confused. And gets a knockoff into the Machamp actually. So fearing the Machamp more. Interesting. Don't think that's bad for me at all. I Sludge Bomb the Whimsicott. My opponent doesn't exactly have switch-ins. Other than Metagross, I guess. But I'll go for another Dynamic Punch into Muck. I guess Whimsicott could withdraw into the Hariyama. But then you're taking a Sludge Bomb. Plus you're risking another Confusion. So Tailwind is going to be set up. So Tailwind will be set up for the remainder of the game. We will go for a Sludge Bomb into the Whimsicott. Which does pick up the knockout. So it's not Focus Sash Whimsicott. Interesting. And we will go for the Dynamic Punch into the Machamp, the Muck. Gets a... Oh, I thought that was a crit for a second. Confusion. Will you hit through? You do hit through. Go for the knockoff into Gengar, but that will not pick up the knockout. Unless you crit me. Man, you could have hit yourself with Confusion twice in a row, but you can crit my Gengar, which was probably my win condition. Because I think I lose to Tapu Fini now. That's dumb. That is dumb. Arcanine's gonna come out. I go out into my own Arcanine. If my opponent had Feeny, he should have brought out Feeny. Maybe my opponent doesn't have Feeny then. I think I'll just Bulldoze here and go for Dynamic Punches. Yeah, I'm just going to Bulldoze here and go for a Dynamic Punch into Arcanine. I have nothing to lose, basically. Muck is probably faster than me anyway. I have to hope for like a Confusion or something. And I will Bulldoze and Dynamic Punch into Arcanine, because it should be able to pick up the knockout. Well, we're -1, so maybe not? Who knows? Had to crit. Here goes the Flare Blitz. Gonna target down my Machamp. Is my opponent really that afraid of the Machamp? Gets the burn. Are you serious? This game is not loving me right now. You are confused as well. Well, you finally hit yourself. Okay. So we get the Bulldoze off. Which will pick up the knockout on Muck. But we're going to miss the KO on Arcanine. And most likely proc the Berry this time. Why did you... This is not looking good for your hero. Dynamic Punch into the Arcanine. Pick up the KO. Rip Machamp. Gets the Confusion though. Is that a Berry? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Dang it, that burn. And a crit. This was not how it was supposed to go. Let's see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. If it's Feeny, he was playing with me this entire time. There's no reason not to bring out Feeny earlier. It's Tapu Koko. Thunderbolt will knock it. Thunderbolt won't knock out my Koko. I think I'll Bulldoze here and go for the Poison Jab, I think. Well, I'm probably going to go down to an attack anyway. Yeah, I don't really see how I'm going to win this, so I'm just going to Poison Jab and Bulldoze. Thunderbolt into the Arcanine. Yeah, that just picks up the KO, and that's game. Flare Blitz will be able to pick up the knockout. That's so unfortunate, though. Well, unless Confusion, I guess. Okay, we get one. We need Poison Jab to poison or crit or something. Nope. I can't believe we're actually losing the last game because of a crit plus a burn. Oh, that's Pokemon for you. It was bound to happen at some point. Kangaskhan comes out. Maybe if I fake out plus poison. Okay, maybe if he doesn't protect Coco for whatever reason and Arcanine hits itself in confusion again, we can win. He should just protect Coco. Yep. So I guess, but I still have to rely on Arcanine hitting in confusion anyway, no matter what. No matter what circumstance. Well, he hits himself again. Not sure if Rock Tomb... Well, Rock Tomb probably would have picked up the KO at that range. I wonder if he goes for Dazzling Gleam here. Tailwind peters out. Man, I wish I had Return, because Return might have actually been able to pick up the knockout on Coco. Maybe I try to knock out the Arcanine now with attack and Wide Guard. Let's see. We do get the Wide Guard off. Maybe if I did this earlier, I would have been able to win. He does Dazzle. Okay. Rock Tomb into the Arcanine. Doesn't even pick up the KO. I need Arcanine to hit itself again. I don't think that's happening. No. And that is the whole game. Oh, man. Unfortunate. Oh, well. Unfortunately. Because Dynamic Punch... Okay. So if he didn't get the crit, I would have kept my Gengar alive. And if he didn't burn my Machamp, I would have knocked out his Arcanine. So it would have only been Tapu Koko against the Kangaskhan, the Machamp, and my Arcanine. It was very unlikely. And I wouldn't have had a burn Machamp. So I would have been able to two-shot to Coco. That's so dumb. Yeah, that's dumb. But that's Pokemon for you. So unfortunately, unable to win the final battle with the Gen 1 team. But I hope that everyone did enjoy the episode 100. Thank you for tuning in to the series, whether it was at the beginning, at the middle, or sometime around episode 100. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. It really means a lot. Did not expect to go this far, but I hope that everyone enjoyed episode 100. It's always nice to look and reflect on the previous teams that we made. Although I don't make the most competitive teams on the channel, I do like to showcase different mons, and because I think a lot of people always complain we always see the same thing. So I try to spice things up, use some different mons, showcase a few different mons, and I hope people can appreciate that. Anyway, our final record for the video, I believe we went 12-2. Unfortunately, we could have went 13-1, but you know what? Thank you everyone for tuning in. Almost to 5,000 subscribers. That's insane at the point that this video is made. Hope everyone... Well, what can I say? Like, hope everyone can just enjoys the series in general. And I'll be making more videos. And yeah, hope to see you in the future.